All right. Okay, folks, tonight should be fun. I am really looking forward to tonight's show. Possum friend, how you doing, buddy? What's going on, my friend? Granddad Christmas, the ineffable, the wonderful Granddad Christmas. Second here in our chat tonight, but certainly a first in our hearts. How are you doing, my friend? It is good to have you. Exolio finally joined our Discord, I think. It's good to have you. Hey, G. Dodma Bexu, welcome. It's good to have you, my friend. How you doing? I will start streaming at 6 p.m. EST. Well, you know, it's actually, I should have said CST. Got a little mixed up there, but we are here live and doing well. So, good to have you. How's the sound, guys? Is the sound all right? Does everything sound good on your end? I hope it does. Because I changed up the audio considerably. I got one of these things. All right, so I'm you know, I have a pop filter. Room echoey. Ooh, I don't know. Is that doesn't sound good. Echoey. Okay. Let's see. What about now? How's that sound? Is that a little better? Endernax is streaming. He leveled some serious accusations. What kind of accusations did he level? Okay. We'll go with that. Yeah, what kind of accusations did Endernax level? Maybe you can let me know. Better on background noise, but fainter. Gain down, volume up. Okay, hold on. Let's see. There we go. Okay. All right. Is that any better? Hopefully that's a little better. Okay, we'll turn that up. Kilbasa, thank you very much for letting me know that it's perfect. It's a new microphone, it's all new stuff. And hey, thank you so much, Endernax, for the raid. I appreciate that. It is so good to have you. Hexolio said that I take 50 photos to get one that looks good. Actually, it averages about 15. Welcome. It is so good to have you. I am so glad you're here. I was just playing with our new little audio setup here. I got this Blue Yeti Nano or Blue Yeti microphone and that swing and arm that we can use to, you know, move it around and pop filter and all that good stuff. So, are we unbanning Endernax? Let's see. Should we unban Endernax from the Discord? Should we keep Endernax banned from the Discord? Frankly, I think my relationship with Endernax has improved considerably. Since we have stayed away from the Discord, but you know, we'll think about it and then take a poll at the end of the night. Okay, how about that? And put that down on the list of things to talk about tonight. Andy Snacks, good boy. Okay, all right. Unban Endernax or Riot. Keep him banned so he keeps raiding. Oh, that's a perverse incentive. All right. I was promised right-wing meltdowns and chill. You were, my friend. And there's one going on right now. So, here's the question. Rudy Giuliani has been testifying, or rather, presenting testimony to the Michigan House of Representatives, claiming that there is somewhere in the order of 500,000 to 1 million illegal votes. Apparently, there was a little bit of drama at the beginning. So what do you all think? Should we, are you down to listen from the start? We're only about 20 minutes behind the live version. So if y'all want to start from the start, I'm down. So yeah, that's what I was thinking we would start with though. And then beyond that, there's another fascinating meltdown. Is there good molding in the beginning? Well, let's take a look. All right, and by the way, guys, I think the Führernax, Reichnax, all that stuff, probably not good snacks. From the top makes it a nice clippable segment. Okay, we'll do that. All right. Let's get that up. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the Michigan House Committee meeting. Let's start like this. And you know, I imagine my reaction is a part of it. So what we'll do is we'll start.
Yo.
Hey, Riga W, thank you so much for subscribing now for 10 months. Incredible. I appreciate that very much, my friend. Thank you so much. Man, good to have you here in our community. So, is it going to be Rudy spurging out? Well, first of all, my friend, spurging, very problematic term, I have to say. But Rudy is an attorney, all right? Rudy was a former federal prosecutor, affectionately known as His Honor, when he was mayor of New York City. Famous for his role in getting the squeegee men off the streets and getting people stopped and frisked. Rudy Giuliani's history is frankly star-studded. He is now the president's personal attorney, and frankly, I think he deserves a little bit more respect than the folks in the chat are giving him. So, we're going to listen to this man, the chair of the committee. He took down the mafia, folks. All right, he took down the mafia. So have a little respect for him, okay? And Rudy will show up here after a couple of minutes. This fella's going to get us started. It didn't even mention his recent movie role. I wasn't sure he was in a movie. I didn't know that. The meltdowns compare nothing to what was seen from the left in 2016. Well, I'll tell you this. As far as screeching meltdowns go, I find the SJW stuff that I believe you're referring to be a lot less impactful, a lot less meaningful, given that Rudy Giuliani is a former mayor of the biggest city in the country. But let's watch it, and folks, let's come to our own conclusions. We've got a hype train going, so we're almost to level 2, thanks to the subscription from Justin. Thank you so much. Justin asks, do you love Taiwan? Of course I do. And in fact, on the agenda tonight, I wanted to talk about Taiwan. So hopefully we can do that for a little while after this. But let's get it started. Here we go.
2020 committee, without objection.
And please do let me know how the sound is.
The minutes are adopted. Vice Chair Riley makes a motion to adopt the minutes from the November 7th. All right, that's all. We got that out of the way. So I'm Matt Hall. I'm chairman of the House Oversight Committee here in Michigan.
Matt Hall.
We've been tasked by Speaker Chatfield to look into elections here in Michigan. Some of this we did before the election, actually.
Appreciate it,
with
Charlie
an audit.
Crist. Holy macaroni, ladies and gentlemen, I have to pause for a minute. Charlie Crist is in the chat. Charlie Crist, former governor of the state of Florida. Charlie Crist, it is so good to have you. I think I may have voted for you in 2008, or maybe that was 2000 and maybe now that I think of it, maybe I didn't, but I probably would have. Either way, Charlie Crist, it is so good to have you here. Governor Crist, I hope you enjoy the stream.
From the Auditor General about about our elections, about people on the voter rolls who weren't supposed to be there, and a process on how to remove them. And we've been working through that. We've been working through this audit that found that there were people who weren't trained that were administering elections. And we've worked together in a bipartisan way to remove, to pass laws to publicize that they need to post. We're going to publicize the people who don't do their training, because I think they need training. And we had the Antrim County Clerk in, and it's clear she needs a lot of training, trust me. So we got that going.
Okay.
So we worked together there. We've brought in clerks from different counties across Michigan to hear from them about how we can improve our election processes in our state. You probably know our last election was the first time in a general election that we had Proposal 3. And Proposal 3 led to widespread absentee voting in our state. And that is something we need to evaluate. That's very much within the role of an oversight committee, is to look at how these laws are working.
Okay.
So we've done that. We've listened to Republican and Democrat clerks to hear their ideas on how we can improve our laws moving forward. We've issued subpoenas to our Secretary of State. You probably know that millions and millions of
I need to skip to the
citizens have serious concerns about the election in Michigan.
So citizens have serious concerns about the election, and that's why the hearing is going on today.
They've expressed that concern to myself and other legislators. We've received thousands of phone calls and emails Elections must be trustworthy and accurate. That includes access and transparency for observers, correct tabulations, and proper checks to ensure votes are legally cast. Citizens become frustrated and demand answers when a large number of precinct tabulations don't reconcile, or when election observers from one party feel they were treated unfairly, or when an independent audit is not performed.
You guys ever done poll watching? That was my kitty, Mr. Cat, by the way. Have you guys ever done poll watching? I have been a poll watcher for 2 election cycles. I didn't do it this election cycle, but I did it in 2018 and 2016. It's actually a pretty, I don't know, it's a pretty low-key event most of the time. You really just kind of show up, you get the count at the end of the night. If voters have questions, you answer them. I guess a big part of it is, for example, if a voter can't vote for some reason, you try and help them correct the issue. Like if they have the wrong form of ID, you try and give them advice as to what the right form of ID would be. Let's see, Rob says, did you have to take observational skills training? We did what did I do? I think I did a 30-minute to 1 hour kind of orientation the first time, and then the second time I didn't have anything, I guess, because I'd already done it. But it, mostly you just got a packet to read, and then you talked about it. And they made it very clear, basically, your goal is not to interfere with what the election officials are doing. If you have questions, ask them, but don't try and obstruct what they're doing. Just call basically your party official, your local party coordinator if you have any issues. And that basically was it. You were there to basically flag things so that people farther up the totem pole could deal with them. It's a pretty low-key job. The Republican poll watchers that were there, because I did it for the Democrats, the Republican poll watchers, in 2018, it was pretty low-key. In fact, I don't even think there was a Republican poll watcher because I was in a super Democrat area. In 2016, there was a poll watcher who was very not just there on behalf of the Republicans, but he was trying to push all the rules, wear all the Trump memorabilia inside of the facility and try to get his signs as close to the facility as possible. And the most annoying part of it was people would come up to me and say, hey, is he allowed to do that? Is he allowed to do that? And then I would have to talk to him if he was breaking the rules. But, so it was super annoying in that respect. But, all in all, it's a pretty low-key job. So I've been kind of surprised to hear about these poll watchers as being very central to the process because, I don't know, both times I did it, it seemed kind of superfluous. And it seemed like what I was primarily doing, especially in 2016, was watching the other poll watcher.
Elections are the cornerstone of our system of government, and we have a responsibility as legislators to ensure trust in voting results. Mr. Giuliani will be coming before our committee today. He's expressed concerns with how Michigan conducted its elections.
Dude, Poller's World might very well, fingers crossed, Poller's World will be doing a stream with senatorial candidate Raphael Warnock. I believe that's his name, Raphael Warnock. Reverend Raphael Warnock. So if Poller's World does that, it's going to be pretty epic. He's going to go and become a mega, massive, internationally renowned streamer. So let's all be pulling for, fingers crossed, for Poller's World, resident of Georgia, who will hopefully soon be doing a stream with senatorial candidate Reverend Raphael Warnock of Georgia. The senatorial candidate put out a notice today saying, hey, any Twitch streamers in Georgia? And I was like, well, that sucks. I'm not in Georgia. But Poller's World is, so let's all send him good vibes. All right.
And he's President Trump's personal attorney. This hearing allows the people of Michigan to go straight to Mr. Giuliani to evaluate evidence presented by him and get answers that we're seeking. We'll also be able to talk to people who have firsthand experience with alleged voter fraud in our state, and we want to hear their stories. We want people to listen to those and an opportunity to ask questions
right.
and to learn more about those things.
Question time.
And then ultimately we can make a decision about whether it's true fraud or not. but we have to have these discussions. When certifying the election results, Michigan's Board of Canvassers is made up of 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans. They unanimously asked this legislature to look into issues that have arisen from this election and to hear public testimony. The Board of Canvassers, in a bipartisan vote,
Yeah, is that Uber
earlier
Eats?
requested the Secretary of State demand processes are better followed in Detroit. We are fulfilling the board's request by holding this hearing, and we will request the Secretary of State improve election processes when problems are found.
Okay. Sounds
So
nice.
I hope today's hearing will be constructive as we examine our state's election system and work to reestablish trust. I feel strongly that our democracy depends on discussions like the one we're about to have today.
Okay.
With that, I'd like to welcome up Mr. Giuliani and Jenna Ellis, the attorneys for President Trump. Yeah, wherever. That's right. There's one there.
His Honor.
I think there's wherever you want to sit. There's
The
two more.
mayor himself.
Mr. Chairman. Mr.
Real
Chairman?
streamers only
Yes,
drink
thank
water.
You, Mr. Chairman.
Hold on. Do you have a point of order?
Yes, I do.
Rough
Mr.
for
Chairman.
them.
Your point of order.
I would like to ask Mr. Giuliani to please stand and raise your right hand.
That's not a point of
Whoa! Did you hear that, folks? They're trying to swear Rudy in, and immediately Matt Hall over here is like, "Oh, hold up! I don't know that we can. What are you talking about? Point of order? Okay, let's see how this goes."
To please be sworn before this
point of
committee.
order.
Mr. Chairman,
Please stop.
Mr.
That is
Chairman,
out of line. You're
it
out
abs-
of order.
Mr. Chairman, it is.
You have a point of order.
Yes, I do, Mr.
What's
Chairman.
your point of order?
My under the law, I have the right before this committee as a representative to swear any witness before this committee to uphold the law. That is my
I'm not gonna
right
allow
as a.
that.
It's
Whoa! Look at this little libtard thinking he can swear in a witness to create some kind of incentive to tell the truth.
my right as a
Allow
representative.
that. Let's continue. And let
Well then,
Mr.
Mr.
Giuliani
Chair,
testify.
I appeal the rule of the chair, and I'd like to ask the committee to please take a vote on this ruling because it is my right as a representative to make sure that anybody before this committee is truthful, and we have the right as members to swear anybody.
All right, then let's call the roll.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order, Mr. Chairman. A motion to swear a witness in requires a vote of this committee.
No, it does not.
All right, we're gonna All right, we're gonna go at ease.
Okay. Is the big city lawyer gonna succeed? Is this big city liberal gonna get Rudy sworn in? What do y'all think? He was really nailing that gavel, man. Like, that was crazy, because what I don't get is, I understand, like, no, you can't do that. But he went from Snorlax level chill to, no, like, right that. What's up with that?
Okay, and can I speak to it? In what order?
Yes, presumably Rock Lee, he would be at risk of perjury if he was sworn in. Okay, sorry, I guess it's silent.
And then,
Oh,
all
there we
right,
go.
so you call the roll on the motion, which is to appeal the ruling of the chair.
On the motion to appeal the ruling of the chair, Chair Hall,
No.
Representative Riley. No. Weber. No. S. Johnson. No. LeBave.
No.
Schroeder. C.A. Johnson.
Yes.
Camilleri.
Yes.
LeGrand. Yes. Mr. Chair, you have 3 yeas, 5 nays, no pass. With that, the ruling of the chair stands.
Wow.
All right, so.
The gavel
with that,
wins.
Mr. Giuliani, please proceed with your testimony. And Jenna Ellis as well, we want to hear you, and then we'll call up witnesses after that. Thank you.
Yeah, Grant and Christmas, I can relate to that. When you say these guys look so short and pudgy from an angle, as a man who has often been accused of being short and pudgy, I can relate to the struggle. All right.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, it's my understanding that I'm here in my capacity as an attorney, not as a witness. If you want to question me as a witness, that's a different matter. But also, I'm the attorney for the president. Ethically, I don't know what that would mean if you turned me into a witness.
Yeah, you're here to testify. No one's under oath. This is
I
like
mean, if
any committee hearing, sir.
I guess that's
where
fair.
we're just taking testimony from members of the public to talk about what happened here in the election.
Just my understanding from appearing before Congress many times is when I appear in the role as a lawyer, I'm not under oath. When I appear as a witness, I am under oath.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing is, when you do something as an attorney, you are bound by ethical and legal obligations and all that. So I guess you don't really have to be sworn in as an attorney, really, in any circumstance. I mean, if I lie in an official capacity, you know, I mean, I can get dinged by my bar association. The thing is, you know, that seems even less likely than, you know, a perjury charge. But in any event, JRJM says it seems like they aren't clear whether he's there as a witness or an advocate. That's fair, given how Rudy has he's done a little of each. So, Polish Royal asks, do you go to court a lot? I do not. My chief task in my professional capacity is to keep people out of court. So that's what I primarily do. I have been to court before, but my general task is to keep people out of court. All right. And I think Rudy's in the New York bar, presumably. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, and sir,
I appear as the attorney for someone, and it's a case involving then, it would be unethical for me to be a witness. But
yeah, and sir, here in
Harrison
Michigan, we
just
don't administer
subscribed.
oaths
Hey,
to
Bostia just
people
joined
who
again.
testify. It's almost unprecedented in this
All right.
legislature.
Well, thank you.
Rob Boss, that is false. I am not quite small. I'm, in fact, relatively wide. Perry Parrison, thank you for subscribing now for 4 months. It is such a treat to have you here with us. It's been good to have you. And Who Am I 4054, thank you for subscribing at Tier 1, my friend. Very much appreciated. Good to have you here. Who am I? Why, you are now a subscriber to the best little channel here on twitch.tv. Rabba says, well, the judge was always looking down on you. That is true, but they also sit like 4 feet higher, you know, in that particular court. So I'm glad, though, to know that you were there for that stream and remember it so that you can attest to the fact that I'm a real lawyer. Okay, here we go.
It is our right, to be clear, though, to do so.
Out of order.
I'm sorry. I'm going to be very brief because I have a number of witnesses. And the whole purpose of asking for this hearing is because for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, all we've heard is that there are unsubstantiated allegations of fraud. It began as unfounded allegations of fraud. Then it became unsubstantiated allegations of fraud. Then it became allegations of fraud, but not big enough to overturn an election. And then it became allegations of fraud that really couldn't be completely investigated between now and the election, but are going to require substantial investigation after the inauguration. So it's changed a great deal, but in that period of time, no one's bothered to look at the evidence. No one's bothered to listen to the witnesses. I'm not a witness. I didn't witness any of this. Everything I'm presenting to you, I'm presenting you as a lawyer. These are the words of other people. And in your case, in the state of Michigan, people who are citizens of your state, who observed fraud. And I must say, observed fraud on what I would also consider myself an expert on.
And folks, I would consider myself an expert on gratitude, on thanks, on appreciation for Who Am I 4054, who not only is now a subscriber to the best little channel here on Twitch, but gifted 10 subscriptions to 10 wonderful people. Exesfa, Captain Pugwash, Bruce Way, incapacitated, who is of course tonight here and incapacitated, 15 Minute Midas, Richard Lewis Reports, great friend of the channel, Atomic Uden, Pops, Legend of Alec, Thrill Seeker Mark, and of course, This Is a Strong Message, who is sending a very strong message tonight. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. It all generally goes to making the channel a better place, so I really do thank you for that.
Prosecuting fraud, I would consider a massive amount of evidence. What I'm holding in my hand are affidavits. These are sworn under oath. They have the power of evidence because they're sworn under oath. These are the things on which you bring indictments. And they allege massive cheating, particularly on the part of the Democrat Party of Detroit, to the extent of easily 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 illegal votes.
700,000
calculated
votes.
many different ways. The second part of the case is an analysis of a the voting machine that you used in much of the state, I believe much of the state, not all, Dominion, which broke down in Antrim County, that alerted people to take a look at it, and lo and behold, it became a tremendous surprise to the people of America. Did you want this closer? I'm sorry. It was a very big surprise to me that our votes are sent out of the United States. It's also a big surprise to me that our votes are counted by a foreign company. And it's even a bigger surprise to me that if you do the slightest bit of due diligence, you will find out that this company has been in trouble many, many times, was just disqualified in the state of Texas, under another name was thrown out of Chicago. In its infancy, had ties with Hugo Chavez, Venezuela, conducted fraudulent elections in 2 South American countries.
Folks, for those who know, first of all, that is not Rudy Giuliani's wife, and slaps only. You shouldn't be saying that lady is, quote, horny for his money. That's actually his co-counsel, Jenna Ellis. Now, first of all, I don't think she's doing this for the money, because let's be real, neither of these folks is getting paid. They may be sending bills, but we know they ain't gonna get paid. But she's the president's counsel. She is Rudy's co-counsel, and she's going to be getting some big. She's certainly going to be getting some big traction out of this. So, Lecture Fan has joined us. America's mayor is both a hero and a legendary lawyer. A legendary lawyer indeed, much like a legendary Pokemon. The legend. The luster may not shine quite as brightly as it once did, but the luster still shines on. Lab coat build Lecture Fan in the house. It's good to have you, Lecture Fan. Welcome. Lab coat build? I don't get that. Bossy, doesn't he get paid $20K a day? The meme that I was making is that President Trump is sort of renowned for kind of stiffing his contractors. So I don't know if he's actually paying. I imagine Rudy's getting paid, but, historically a lot of folks have not been. Check out his recent tweets, Lab Coat Pilled. Hold on a minute here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what Lecture Fan has, his recent tweets. Lab Coat Pilled. Hold on, I'm not sure I'm seeing this here. Is there a picture of him in a lab coat? Hold on a minute. Okay. 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 All right. Scientists, year 1. Eggs are unhealthy. Democrats, oh my God, don't eat eggs. Scientists, year 2. Never mind, eggs are healthy. Democrats, oh my God, eat eggs. A lot. Repeat 10x. Democrats, science is never disputed and it's consensus and it's never wrong. Believe in science. Well. Quit trying to egg him on. That's a good one, Friday Boss Man. That's a good meme. In fact, you know what? Right here. Can you quit trying to egg us on already? Let's see. What emoji should we use to follow that up with? Let's see. Which emoji should we use to follow that up with? I think that merits a egg. That's kind of boring one though, right? Chicken? Eggplant? Okay, we're not going horny here, all right? All right, let's go with the egg. Let's go with the fried egg though in the pan. How about that? Insensitive says no emojis. Just to be clear, I love emojis and I use them all the time. Okay. Okay, let's do that because he's specifically talking about eating eggs. Can you quit trying to? In fact, let's see. Can you quit trying to egg us on already? All right. That looks like I'm trying too hard. Okay. Can you quit trying to egg us on already? All right. So stupid. Okay. All right. Back to. Friday Bossman says, I have a better record of getting Bassiett to tweet my dad jokes than I do court cases. Fair. All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
and have been disqualified in several other countries and states. It appears as if whoever your elections officials are selected this without the slightest bit of even Googling the company, where if you did, you would find out that it's considered to be the most insecure voting machine available to us, and has resulted in enormously terrible problems. I'd like to put into the record a letter written by my congresswoman many years ago, Carolyn Maloney, who pointed out all of the problems with this company, Dominion. I'd also put in the record letters from Elizabeth Warren and somebody else that I can't remember right now, but another United States senator. I have no idea what you were doing with this company, and one of the things I would suggest is you take a good look at just how you came about taking on a company that has this terrible record. We've had occasion to examine now the machine that faltered. We have preliminary data on how it can be invaded. We would need to examine the rest of the machines, and if we did, we could probably tell you to some degree of certainty exactly how many votes were changed, the formula by which they were changed, and if they were directed overseas, because there are some indications that the vote was being sent to Frankfurt, Germany, or to Barcelona, to a company called Seitel. That's a brief overview, but I think I would rather start because this woman, I would just ask the indulgence of the committee. Ms. Jacob is a very, very fine woman. She's never testified before. She is exceedingly concerned for many reasons. And if everybody could just be courteous in questioning her, I would really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
So I'd like to call Jesse Jacob.
All right, Mr. Mayor. And just to be clear, I didn't say this before. The way we're going to run this format, my goal is to be done by 9. That's about 3 hours. We might go a few minutes over since.
Okay, we ain't watching this for 3 hours, folks. I don't think we're doing that. Did you just say, oh no, now the toxic Bassett Twitter following's after me? I don't think my Twitter is toxic. And besides, that was a very friendly tweet. Can you quit trying to egg us on already? I mean, that's a very, come on, that's not a toxic response there. I hope not. They're quote tweeting you. All right. Oh, okay. Let's look at some of these quote tweets. Let's see what I unleashed. All right. Look, this was a very friendly retweet here. Can you quit trying to egg us on already? What I didn't realize is, all right, 8 quote tweets, and those all just came a few minutes ago. Let's see what this is. Okay, egg. It's kind of cute. All right. Josen Star, local Foxy Boy. Your followers' tweets. Oh, okay. All right. Foxy Boy. This ain't how the scientific consensus works. I mean, I agree with that. I don't think that's how the scientific consensus works. I mean, because it sounds like the call of your tweet seems to be that because scientists can be wrong, therefore it's all basically bullshit, which I would reject as well. Let's see. Please show me one Democrat who has made a meaningful stand about the healthiness or unhealthiness of eggs. There's probably one. I mean, you know, I guess it depends on whether... I mean, egg growing districts are probably more rural and probably more Republican, but I don't know. There's Vosh. Oh, wait, I can't show him. Oh my God, I'm going to get banned on Twitch. Okay, based on lab coat pilled. There's the reference. Okay, all right. Don't ban me. That was a Monka TOS moment. Okay, all right. All right. Okay. All right. Oh my goodness, I should have used this one. Look at how cute that is. Oh, hatching chick. Okay. I don't think anybody else wants to watch a 3-hour Rudy hearing. But let's listen to the rest of what the attorneys have to say, and then we'll go on to our next activity. All right?
I came in late. That's the goal. We're going to allow each witness to come up, and at that point, we'll allow members of the committee to ask a question. The question has to be germane to the topic. This is about the Michigan elections, okay? I'll allow one question per member, no follow-ups, one question, okay? That's how we're going to do it for each for each witness. And that's because of the shenanigans. I was going to allow a little leeway, but I'm not now.
Are you serious? Come on, that was not a shenanigan. And you may disagree with it, but to call that shenanigans to try and exercise some parliamentary procedure, and then after you shut down his attempt to use parliamentary procedure, you call it shenanigans, and you're like, all right, no leeway. Okay.
All right, we're going to do one question per witness. We're going to go through each one. I call them witnesses, but people who are testifying here. And then lastly, at the end, Mr. Giuliani will take those questions. That's how we're going to do it. So I understand Jesse Jacobs is first.
Could I have Jenna say a word or two?
Yes, of course. Why don't you go ahead?
Jenna!
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the committee. And I appreciate your calling this session, Mr. Chairman, and that we have members that are both Democrats and Republicans here. But you're all here in your capacity as legislators. And this is not a political question. This is a legal one. When you have what you will see before you as substantial evidence of fraud and corruption in an election, it's your obligation under the United States Constitution to not allow the corruption to continue. And under Article 2, Section 1.2, the state legislators are the entity that our founders specifically vested with the authority to ensure against a corrupt popular vote.
You know what they're shooting for, folks. This is their Hail Mary, or not Hail Mary, because a Hail Mary, I guess, is plausible. This is their last ditch. This is their last attempt. This is the goal, is to try and stir up enough feeling that this election was corrupt and that the results can't be trusted, that then they can convince this fella here and his fellow Republican legislators in Michigan to sort of throw out the results of the election. I don't think it's going to happen, but that is the goal, fundamentally. So when you sit here thinking, this doesn't make sense, this case is nonsense, they keep losing in court, and it doesn't matter. All that matters is that this is their audience. They're trying to persuade this guy, and they're trying to persuade his voters to do something and try and, if they got their wish and they had the legislature actually overturn an election. I don't think it would happen, but if they did, that would be crazy town. That would be that would risk the dissolution of our constitutional order. Citizen Cicero says Michigan wouldn't flip the election. I believe that's true, but it would also make it easier for other states to switch. So.
And this is not a political question. This is a legal one. When you have what you will see before you as substantial evidence of fraud and corruption in an election, it's your obligation under the United States Constitution to not allow the corruption to continue. And under Article 2, Section 1.2, the state legislators are the entity that our founders specifically vested with the authority to ensure against a corrupt popular vote. So at the end of the evidence and the testimony that we present today, we are going to be asking you to take action on this. You've already heard from a number of witnesses and other people and evidence over the past day and a half. I would ask you all to put aside your party affiliation and look openly and honestly at these witnesses and this evidence, because here we're all Americans. And our founders specifically provided this tool, the state legislature, to be able to combat corruption or foreign influence when that happens in an election.
That's their goal, told you. Redneck joins us. Fellow streamer Redneck says, Bassett, so you're saying that all the people who are willing to testify under oath don't matter? Basically, yeah, I am basically saying that. I am very skeptical of the conditions under which they've managed to pull this testimony from people. I am also, these affidavits seem to fall apart when they are examined in court. So yeah, I am thoroughly skeptical. So far, it does seem like, quote, all the people who are willing to testify, yeah, it doesn't seem to have amounted to a hill of beans so far. Isn't this how our legal system is built? It is true that our legal system is built in large part on eyewitness testimony, and eyewitness testimony is traditionally a disaster. Eyewitnesses have faulty memories because, of course, eyewitnesses are human beings. Eyewitnesses often misremember things. They are often wrong in terms of what it is they remember. I don't trust eyewitness testimony. And frankly, I would only trust and use eyewitness testimony as a last resort. In fact, you know what? Let's see. How reliable is eyewitness testimony? Okay. All right. Let's take a look at eyewitness testimony real quick, folks. All right. So this is according to the Association for Psychological Science. Hey, see what you think. You know, let me turn on our dark reader here. Okay, accept the cookies. Eyewitness testimony has put how many people in jail? That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's put people in jail. The question is, how reliable is it? Now, if it has been used to put people in jail, that doesn't make it good evidence. People are falsely put in jail all the time in our great country. All right, so here's a couple paragraphs. Eyewitness testimony is historically among, in fact, let's switch up here. All right, here we go. Eyewitness testimony is historically among the most convincing forms of evidence in criminal trials. Probably only a suspect's signed confession can further convince a jury about that individual's guilt. That iconic moment where a testifying witness points to the defendant as the perpetrator of the crime is iconic, has been dramatized often on television and movies. It's easy to understand why it's so convincing. We trust our own perception and experience. I'll believe it when I see it. It isn't just a cliche, it's a statement of the most persuasive form of evidence we allow. But being convincing isn't the same as being accurate. Eyewitness testimony is more fallible than many people assume. The advent of DNA analysis in the late 1980s revolutionized forensic science, providing an unprecedented level of accuracy about the identity of actual perpetrators versus innocent people falsely accused of crime. DNA testing led to the review of many settled cases. According to the Innocence Project, 358 people who have been convicted and sentenced to death since 1989 have been exonerated through DNA evidence. Of these, 71% had been convicted through eyewitness misidentification and served an average of 14 years in prison before exoneration. Of those false identifications, 41% involved cross-racial misidentification and 28% involved a false confession. And folks, that's when it really counts, okay? That's murder. That's execution. That's when somebody's life is on the line, all right? Take a look, see what you think. That's when somebody's life is on the line. Now imagine it's a meaningless affidavit that you have basically been told, or reassured, that, look, your chances... Well, let's see. What are your chances? What are your chances of being convicted of perjury? Because they're pretty low, folks. Okay. How common is a perjury conviction? Okay. Prosecution for perjury is rare. In certain instances, for certain cases, for instance, cases involving rape or sexual assault, the judicial system is hesitant to prosecute those who are suspected of making false accusations. If victims of such crimes are seen to be vulnerable in prosecution themselves, there's a risk in dramatic reduction of such crimes being reported at all. This is rape, though. That's not really what I'm interested in. Let's see. How common are perjury charges? How common? Let's see. I thought I read something about this just the other day. How often? Quora. I don't know about that. Raw boss. I'm not tossing rape victims' problems out the window. I'm saying that that's probably not a comparable situation. Let's see. How often is perjury prosecuted? Okay. This must be an old study. I don't know. Yeah, this says, this must be an older one. An older article about perjury. Yeah, this is from the 1970s. But, okay. So, for example, over 4 years in the entire country, there were only 335 perjury cases. But that's kind of older. Let's see. Perjury or lying under oath in court is often called the forgotten offense because it is not only widespread, but rarely prosecuted, especially in America where it's been a crime since 1790. Most commentators attribute the absence of indictments and convictions for perjury to the highly technical nature of the offense. They point to problems in drafting indictments, in proving materiality of the alleged false testimony, and in meeting the stringent evidentiary rules. A false statement by itself is not quite perjury. It has to affect the issue at hand, and people are usually not convicted for false statements that don't influence the court. Okay, so right there, without a whole lot of effort, not only is eyewitness testimony often wrong, but it is rarely prosecuted when it is a perjury. So yeah, I think eyewitness testimony, that big binder full of affidavits that Rudy pulled out, personally, that doesn't convince me of much. Now, if that convinces you of much, I understand, because at the end of the day, if you're not convinced of that, you have nothing. But I gotta say, it seems like it ain't nothing, but it's pretty damn close to nothing, especially given how these affidavits continually fall apart when examined by judges. Okay, so let's let Jenna Ellis finish her statement, and then we'll get going.
We sit before you today on behalf of the President of the United States, but as he said today in a speech from the White House, it's his sworn duty and obligation to make sure that election integrity and free and fair elections are preserved in this country. And we will be asking you, after taking a look at the testimony presented today, to take that oath that you have made as state legislators very, very seriously. The law is on your side because the U.S. Constitution is on your side. And we would be happy to answer any questions about that at the end of this proceeding, but thank you very much for your time and attention today.
In other words, please overturn the election, throw out all the votes, because we got a big binder full of affidavits. Redneck then says, and as someone who is a lawyer, it's astonishing. Lying is cool, I mean, because, hey, it happens? No. You must have misunderstood what I'm saying. I am saying that I don't trust eyewitness testimony at a baseline because people are wrong all the time, and that's even apart from lying, and then because on top of that, perjury charges, the whole incentive that makes that swearing in worth something, are so rare. So in essence, it is my opinion, and I think it is based on evidence, that when you raise your right hand and you swear that you are telling the truth, that means very little. Very little than it would if you did nothing. I mean, it's about as meaningful as a kid who says, I swear to God! I swear to God! I swear to God! Doesn't mean much, you know? It means something. It means something. But in terms of eyewitness testimony, if you don't have any other evidence, you know, that's pretty thin soup. Okay. All right. I don't know why my kid is from New Jersey in this situation, but hey, that's I guess where we're at. All right. So that was Rudy. Then he goes and talks with a witness for a while. Frankly, I thought that it was kind of boring. Okay. So next, let's go and check out Lynn Wood in Georgia. Lynn Wood did a press conference where he had some very interesting things to say. So let's pull this up. This is Lynn Wood. He is not the president's attorney, but he is an attorney who is working on one of the cases. He's working with Sidney Powell. I believe her name's Sidney Powell, the attorney of Kraken fame, the attorney who has released the Kraken and then released that giant lawsuit, with all the slapdash errors. What does Kraken mean? It's a big monster, mythical in nature, which I suppose is fitting for a lawsuit based in, again, very little other than a binder of spurious affidavits. Okay, so this is Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell at a... Sidney Powell's a titan of the legal profession. I would say she is a titan of the legal profession, but a titan does not convey necessarily anything good. All right, here we go.
Are more alike than we are different.
Sorry, this is Lynn Wood at a rally in Georgia, a news conference in Georgia. All right, here we go.
But I'm going to disagree with Vernon Jones. Where's Kelly Loeffler here? Where's David Perdue? He ought to be standing right here. Those two people won't.
Sorry, I don't know why this is clipping. Hold on a minute here, folks.
Your vote?
This is clipping. I don't want it clipping. Let me see if I can...
Then they ought to...
All right, I don't want this clipping. Let me download Twitter video. I'm gonna, sorry about that. No, that ain't good. We don't want that. We don't want that. We want a high quality video here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want that scuffed stuff. All right. Okay, let's download 1280.
Are more alike than we are.
Okay. All right, save the video. Yeah, we don't want that. We want good stuff here.
Are more alike than.
Okay. And back to it. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Are more alike than we are different. But I'm going to disagree with Vernon Jones.
That really was the quality of it. I just downloaded this
Right
video.
here. Where's David Perdue? He ought to be standing right here. Those two people want your vote, then they ought to tell you what we're. Get a special session of the legislature now. Do not be fooled twice. This is Georgia. We ain't dumb.
We ain't dumb.
We're not going to go vote on January 5th in another machine made by China. You're not going to fool Georgians again. If Kelly Loeffler wants your vote, if David Perdue wants your vote, they've got to earn it. They've got to demand publicly, repeatedly, consistently, Brian Kemp call a special session of the Georgia legislature, and if they do not do it, if Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue do not do it, they have not earned your vote. Don't you give it to them. Why would you go back and vote in another rigged election? For God's sakes, fix it.
God.
You gotta fix it before we'll do it again.
Folks, hold on a minute here.
100,000 absentee ballots.
Hey, how many 100,000?
We've already got 800,000 absentee ballots.
800,000 absentee ballots, folks. I think there's only one solution here. I think there's only one solution here. I'll be right here with you. I think there's really only one way to go. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, folks, I think we know what time it is. I mean, clearly, look, folks. I mean, I think this guy's got a point. I mean, look, at the end of the day, 800,000 absentee ballots. Trump or bust. I think this is the way. I mean, I think he's got it. I think I've been persuaded. I mean, after all, as Redneck says, Bastiat, EWT with stat analysis or pictures, videos as secondary, these are not issues to look further into. I mean, everyone agrees our voting system has always had some form of fraud. You're just claiming that the nature of the fraud is so minuscule that it doesn't matter. I'm of the mindset that it does and should. Bastiat, they found 40,000 people who moved from one county to another more than 30 days before the election and voted in their old county, which is illegal according to Georgia law. Those 40,000 people who voted failed to register their new address in time to vote in the new county. According to law, they can't vote in either county until they do. Jesus Christ! Ladies and gentlemen, don't trust that voting system in Georgia. What the hell is all that? I mean, that's a scam. That's an absolute scam. And frankly, I think all Trump-supporting Republicans, all Bible-believing Republicans, everybody in this country who supports our president should demand of David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler that they show up with Lynn Wood, all right? That they show up with Lynn Wood and they say, we're not participating in the clown show until you stand by our president, all right? We demand that the Georgia legislature stand by President Trump, all right? Because otherwise, we're going to show you folks that you need our votes, and we're going to boycott this election, and we're going to let those dummycrats win, all right? Because that'll show you people that we mean business. We love our president, and God damn it, we aren't going to let you rhinos sneak out that easily, all right? You're not going to be able to get away and get back to brunch, all right? You people will listen to us because this election was stolen, ladies and gentlemen. It was stolen, and my God, any red-blooded, red, white, and blue American would not participate in voting for these Republicans who have made the decision to just let this election theft go. It's disgusting. And until Kelly Loeffler, until David Perdue are willing to stand up for this country and stand up for our principles, I think we need to vote Democrat, or better yet, as Republicans, not vote at all. All right. I don't think there's any other answer. These people are going to get the message. They're not going to get the message until they know that we, the people, mean business, and we, the people, stand by our president. All right? And that's all there is to it. So, hey, all right, I'm down for that. I think that's a great message, frankly. I think that's a great message. Okay. Tell me this is a joke, Fitz Cardiff. I gotta say, does that look like a joke? I mean, does that look like a joke to you? Also, there is, just to be clear, a Bassiett red hat emote. It's called, I think, Bassiett K Kona. So I don't know why it's focusing in and out. I have to fix the blur. Kind of a shame it did that right then. So yeah. So I'm gonna fix that real quick. Okay. Just a second, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. All right. Zoom. Okay, focus. Okay, so I have to play with the lens a little bit. How did I didn't dox myself. All right, I'll be right back. Sorry, it's just I just have to fix it now. Okay. All right. Put it back on auto and fix your hair. I probably should. That's what it's picking up? Might be. All right. Crystal clear? Yeah, it is still not crystal clear, but we're going to get it crystal clear. It's a little better now, though, right? Okay. There you can see it. So, yeah, folks, that's really the way it goes, is the deep state. The deep state is trying to trick you into thinking that this was a legitimate election, and they're trying to get away with it by running these two rhino Republicans in Georgia. We got to end that. We got to stop that. We got to punish them by boycotting the election. All right. If the Democrats want to participate in a sham election, that's on them. All right. But we're going to defend our president. We're going to boycott the sham election in Georgia. All right. So, all right. Maybe you're blurred in real life. Maybe. Okay. Better. Shoot. Oh, God. This is so annoying. Okay. Well. All right. Just putting it on autofocus now. Okay, whatever. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, I set it to auto A. The problem is the autofocus was going in and out. God, that's so annoying, though. That was a really... Okay. Camera's asserting its dominance. Yeah. Okay, so catching up on the chat here. Fitz Cardiff says, can you blame Chavez and the Jewish New World Order next? This is so much fun. Well, I know there was some talk of Hugo Chavez, but the problem is that Hugo Chavez, I believe, died before any of this could have happened. Bassiett, fuck you when you're there. All right. So yeah, that's what's going on with Lin Wood. Lin Wood, I really don't understand what he's doing, because he's a practicing attorney as well, and yet he is just going off about all kinds of crazy stuff. For example, I got into a bit of a tiff recently over, I think, one of his tweets. Let me see if I can find it. Where he basically insinuated that Chief Justice Roberts is a Epstein pedo creep, which I thought was pretty crummy. So let's see here. Where is it, if anywhere? Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. So, has anyone heard anything further on the identity of the John Roberts identified in the Jeffrey Epstein flight logs? Asking for a friend. Ooh, that is pretty shitty stuff. Because they found the name John Roberts in some flight logs. Now, John Roberts, as you might imagine, is indeed two generic names smashed together to make the most generic name in American history, perhaps. But yeah, so already it's a pretty generic name. I was curious how many other John Roberts there are in the United States. There are apparently 7,000 to 8,000 John Roberts in the United States. So, so I decided to say, I genuinely don't understand how a practicing attorney, an officer of the court like you, can so seriously and baselessly imply this about the head of the federal judiciary. Again, because, it's one thing for, your garden variety crackpot to say, yes, I have no support for this, but, John Roberts, John Roberts is a pedophile because I saw his name on a flight registry, and I'm sure it's that same John Roberts after all. It's one thing for, your ordinary crackpot to say that, but, for a lawyer to say that about the titular head of the legal profession in the United States, that's what we call an ethically gray area. So, anyway, I dropped that, and I got a lot of strange responses. Okay, let's see. We're trying to warn you. We don't need to be thanked. We're trying to warn you. Prepare yourself. I've witnessed the documents. Hope you were a Boy Scout. Be prepared. Okay. Why not? It's very relevant. He is not beyond reproach. He can be blackmailed and manipulated. I don't think he mentioned Justice Roberts, did he? You jumped to that conclusion. So, look at this one. All right, right here. Bastia, do 5 minutes worth of independent research. That's the call of the, MAGA call of the wild is do your research. Look for the one flight log from just one of Epstein's pilots that has been released. Bill Clinton, and John Roberts. Plus foreign dignitaries, Hollywood producers, John Legend, and more. Man. Okay. So, some of these responses, let's see if yet the cute people have been right about everything. Yes, trust the plan. It will happen. It's coming. There were some other responses here, though. Let me see if I can find these. Oh, Prison Mike from The Office. Maybe because it's true? So this is the flight log. This is the log that says John Roberts right there, circled C. And this is the real nice response from, I guess, Brian ESQ. Hopefully not an attorney who says, you are assuming this is about Justice Roberts. L. Linwood is not saying that. He's asking a question. Which I gotta say, kind of rough. That's kind of a rough thing to say. I mean, I really, you gotta think. I mean, that's a real rough response because I guess that's like saying, look, Cat Girl of the Month. I'm just asking why a name like yours was on a flight log to Pedophile Island. I'm not implying anything. I'm just asking questions. Why was your name on this flight log? I'm just asking questions, guys. I'm just asking questions. All right? I'm just asking questions. I'm not implying anything with my 1 million followers on Twitter.com. I'm just asking questions. Ooh, okay. All right. Citizen Cicero, are you a pedophile? I'm just asking questions. I'm not implying anything here. I'm just asking questions. It's some bullshit. So let me see if I can find one other thing here. You know, you might be asking though, Citizen Cicero, and Cat Girl of the Month. I apologize for naming you out, naming you like that, but I should have used a better example here. You know, and I saw this guy on Epstein's Island. You know, I just saw this guy on Epstein's Island. I was just like, is this guy a secret pedophile? I mean, he's friends with this guy who's a, not so secret pedophile. What's going on with this? I'm just asking questions, guys. I just got some questions. I'm just asking questions here. What does it mean when they're friends? And when Trump says, quote, I know he likes them young. I'm just asking questions here, guys. I'm just asking questions. What does it mean? I'm just asking questions. Okay. So that was the meltdown, Trump or bust. Just asking questions. All right, off to gaming. Much respect, even though you're a leftist loon. Peace, good sir. Redneck, I got to say, if I'm your idea of a leftist loon, I'm glad you don't spend that much time on the internet, my friend. But it is good to have you, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Take care. I will say this about our conservative friends. I will say this. I'll say this about them. As far as conservatives go, they've never told me that I should have my head chopped off. I'll say that for them. No conservative ever told me to go to the guillotine. They never dropped a blade. They never said I deserved the wall. I'll give that to them for sure. So thanks for that. That said, their policies do a lot more damage than what is this? New Antifa HR Gryphon has ever done to anyone other than perhaps a plate of pizza rolls. But, I'll give them that. They've never condemned me to death on the internet. Okay. Amy Coney Barrett says, Bassett, based conservative take, I don't care about the election anymore. Biden will be the next president. Just deal with it. If there was fraud, then President Trump's legal team has sucked at pointing it out. All talk and no show from both parties. If the conservatives don't have a good argument, then stop with it and don't become Russia conspiracy theorists. To be clear, there's probably a lot of, it depends on who you are, right? I mean, if you are on Team Republican Party, then you might suffer some consequences from, descending into madness like that. But if you're on Team Trump, then your incentive is to double down, right? Like your incentive on Team Trump, well, I get what you're saying. We should all be on Team America. But if you're specifically interested, not in conservatism or in the Republican Party, but specifically the Make America Great slice of it, Make America Great Again slice of it, what do you care what happens to the rest of the party, right? I mean, without Trump, what's the point, He's the special sauce, remember? I alone can fix it. Okay, so that's that. Okay. So that was fun. A fun change things here. Beta Kami says some conspiracies turned out to be real. Bassett asked the CIA. I'd be a little skeptical of our government. I would as well, and I think that is a good thing to be. But I do think that before you ask people to take action, you should have some evidence. And so far, the evidence that has been produced of election fraud here has been pretty thin, and has not won them any victories in court. So far, the only victory they won on court was on a procedural issue, and I believe the state of Pennsylvania was already complying. Anyway, so. Okay. Let's check in on the Lecture Fan tweet real quick. See what's going on here. All right. 13 quote tweets. Put on the skirt, man. All right. This unironically... All right. Reminder that Mr. Cat is still wanted for war crimes. How do I dislike this tweet? In fact, let's just, let's see. Dislike. Let's see. Dislike. There we go. That's what we're doing. All right. There we go. All right. Disliked. Geek with Glasses is here in the house. Geek with Glasses, it is such a delight to have you here, ladies and gentlemen. Geek with Glasses, one of the most wonderful folks around, a great streamer, a man whose reputation certainly precedes him. It's good to have you here. Geek with Glasses, I hope you're doing well. He helped make this channel, and now he is here helping watch it. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. Let's see here. So what else did I have on the list here? Lynn Wood, Rudy Giuliani. Okay, should we talk about Taiwan or should we talk about conservative family values? What do you guys think? Which of those should we move on to here next? Because there was a series of tweets that I thought was a real trip on conservative family values. Okay, let's talk about Taiwan, conservative family values, Taiwan. Okay, it looks like now we're split. Okay, I'll do the family values bit real quick because I do want to spend some time on Taiwan. Okay, so real quick, I just want to share this one here. This is a, who gives a shit about boomer takes? I don't think it is boomer takes, unfortunately. Okay, so this is a message I saw from Conversation of Our Generation. Let's take a look at their channel. Here's the introduction. Bassi just turned 35. Not yet, but once I am 35, I'll be eligible to run for the Libertarian Party nomination for president. Okay, let's check this out. Hold on a minute. Okay, hold on a minute. Who are some of these people? All right, I think this is a Roman emperor of some kind. That's my hunch for who this is. Otherwise, maybe it's Aristotle or Plato or whatever. Similarly, Greek philosopher. I thought it might be Nero, but why would it be Nero? Nobody likes Nero. But Nero is the only figure I remember historically who had a beard like that. That can't be. Hold on a minute here. Whoa, that's Nero. Why would it be Nero? Yeah, that's Nero. Okay, am I misremembering who Nero was? Holy macaroni, Nero, looking a bit like a... Nero is a gamer confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this gamer right here. Holy macaroni. Okay. All right. Nero, just to be clear, not a widely regarded fella. Let's see. He was guided by his mom in his early years, then had her killed. His infamous reign is usually associated with tyranny, extravagance, and debauchery. So, all right. That's one of the figures of ancient wisdom to look to. Okay, and then these fellas, I don't know who this is. There's Justice. There's an old library. Young Feminist Mobilizing. That's, what's his name? Oscar Wilde, right? That's Oscar Wilde, I think. What is he? This is a British fella of some kind. Sir Roger, maybe? Sir Roger, and maybe Scruton? Yeah, I nailed it. That's Roger Scruton. Okay. Okay, traditionalist conservative views, Roger Scruton. Hey, the fact that he's on the edge of death, maybe, that doesn't mean anything. Age is not something I want discrimination against. All right, Catholic bishop, I think. To read without reflecting is like eating without digesting. There's Edmund Burke. Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand, Ayn Rand is a complicated figure. I have the closest thing I ever came to being canceled over was when I tweeted a picture of Ayn Rand with heart eyes after it. I think Ayn Rand has some good things to offer and some bad things to offer. But whatever you think of Ayn Rand, the one thing she is, I think, approximately 0% interested in is traditional values and the wisdom of the past. Okay, and then I guess these two. All right, so that's... All right. Okay, don't you have to be in the public eye? Good point, Infinite Moose. Doesn't really count when it's like 20 people. Okay, so they posted this here, and they said, which way will we choose? We have to choose. And it's a picture on the left of a very happy looking house, right? On a family and all that. And then, hey, a good looking house. And then there's, somebody who, I suppose, resembling Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And I think we are not supposed to like this picture. Let's take a look. Let's zoom in at the details. She is drinking an alcoholic beverage. There's some Chinese takeout, some prescription pills, laptop on some books.
Hi, Mickey. Just subscribe.
Look at those. Hey!
Love you long
Hi,
time.
Mickey.
Basti
Thank you for
trade
subscribing now for 4 months. Very cool, my friend. Thank you so much. Quickie Mart, thank you for subscribing as well. Now for 1 month, 30 minutes ago. Thank you. And who am I? Thank you for subscribing for 3 months in advance with Tier 2. I really do appreciate that, my friend. It's good to have you. Infinite Moose says, thank me for subscribing. I will thank you for subscribing when you subscribe. Okay, there's a cat. There's some Cheetos. And then another cat in a cat box in the corner. There's a mask, some lotions, takeout, gloves. Absolutely not. Goodbye. Fair enough. It was good to have you. Rumpled bed. What is all this? Okay. All right.
JP_the_flame just subscribed. 3.
Thank you very much, JP the Flame, for now subscribing on a 2-month streak. I appreciate it, my friend. Okay, so I saw this and I thought, that's kind of a silly thing to attack somebody over, right? I mean, one of the great things about modern life is all the choice we have as individuals. And then I went over why it's kind of strange to attack somebody as being, single and not having children. And one thing I did want to share is this notion that we live in a society today that is suffering from moral degradation or moral decay.
You need to cancel LCTR fan from your life.
Oh my goodness.
That man is dumb as a bag of doorknobs.
Stone Legs! First of all, thank you for subscribing now for 7 months. Stone Legs says, you need to cancel lecture fan from your life. That man is dumb as a bag of doorknobs. Hold on a minute. First of all, I don't think Lecture Fan is dumb as a bag of doorknobs. All right, Lecture Fan's a practicing attorney, member of the bar. Okay, now I may think he's wrong on everything politically, and I may think he's wrong on his take on science, but I don't think he's dumb as a bag of doorknobs. That's kind of harsh. But I will say this: if, as a Twitch streamer, I refused to talk to anybody who was quote dumb as a bag of doorknobs, I would have a very small audience indeed. All right. So, we're not doing that, okay? We're not canceling people for being dumb as a bag of doorknobs, and I don't think Lecture Fan is, quote, dumb as a bag of doorknobs, all right? Okay, back to the chart. Marriage rates, marriage rates are down, but so are divorce rates, for one. He brings you down to his level and beats you with experience. I don't think I've ever been beaten by Lecture Fan, but all right. If I remember, Bassett, you were caught flat-footed with Ayn Rand over the race history. Yes, Ayn Rand turns out to have said some very racist things about Native Americans that were so bad that even the her ideological allies, like the Mises Institute, were like, that's not even true. She basically said that Native Americans have no conception of property and were a bunch of barbarians and could therefore be justifiably destroyed, and that's not true. So, okay. All right. But anyway, marriage and divorce. Here we go. All right. And it's not all libertarians, but what she said was pretty bad. That being said, she's also said some good things. I'm not, not willing to write off everything she's ever said, but I would not use her as my standard bearer for sure. Okay. So marriage and divorce, yeah. Divorce rates down. Abortion rates, historically low. They are about as low today as they were when Roe v. Wade was decided. Pretty low. And the crime rate, violent crimes, property crimes, down, 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 down. So this notion that we live in this society that is becoming increasingly immoral is just not true. And so I was curious, like, why don't people have more children, right? Like the whole call of the original question is, hey, we need more, we need to have people focus more on family, more on family. Well, why aren't people having family? Why don't I have kids? Folks, why am I here talking to you on twitch.tv instead of raising 2.2 children? Well, there's an article in the New York Times where they asked people who had or expected to have fewer children than they considered ideal, why they had fewer children than they considered ideal. Childcare too expensive. Want more time for the children I have. Worried about the economy. Can't afford more children. Waited because of financial instability. More leisure time. Not enough paid family leave. No paid family leave. Worried about global instability. Okay, so of the top 9 reasons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including the top reason, were basically related to money. And the other ones were like money adjacent. Global instability, So, it seems like it's primarily material considerations, right? So there's some cool ideas out there for how to deal with that. This fellow Matt Brunig, who I think is some kind of socialist, but nevertheless seems to run a pretty interesting policy shop. He came out with this plan called the Family Fun Pack. And the big idea there is all these different policies that would basically make it easier to be a parent, especially a first-time parent. So a child stipend, free healthcare for kids, free school lunch, a baby box with some essentials like clothes and diapers and wipes, and parental leave policies. Another policy I like here is from Mitt Romney and Senator Michael Bennet. Michael Bennet is the particular champion of this. That would pull kids out of poverty by creating a fully refundable annual child tax credit of $1,500 per child, which I thought was pretty cool. But the long and short of it is, I think if you call for people to discover the wisdom of the past by sacrificing material well-being for the sake of children, you've probably already lost. But if you're prepared to pay for programs and make it easier to raise families, then such calls might be more meaningful. So to kind of tie it all up, when I see this, and I see people just basically comparing old pictures of magazine covers to some vision of modern life, first of all, this is ridiculous because the only reason she's in this situation, the primary reason, is COVID-19 and lockdowns and social distancing and all that, trying to avoid catching a deadly disease. But, the other reason is that, look, this house, those kids, that's expensive, right? I mean, hell, it was expensive in 1957. It is especially expensive now, thanks to restrictive boomer socialism. In essence, price supports for homeowners that have made it very difficult to build new property, build new housing, bring down the cost of housing. It's so difficult to get new housing built in some parts of the country. And to get it done affordably, that it makes it more difficult to afford this kind of house than it was in the past. And the increasing share of people's expenses that go towards servicing their housing expenses, that eats into money they would otherwise spend on kids. So, long story short, material considerations, not moral considerations. All right. Okay. Taryn Fear says, asset price inflation regulation, why ever own a home? Look, me and my...
Jazz86_ just subscribed. This is a distraction from the fact that Mr. Cat was helicopter crewman in Chile in 1973.
Jazz86, thank you for subscribing for 5 months, but your claim that Mr. Cat was a helicopter crewman in Chile in 1973 is a sham. It's a lie. It's fake news. And if you're trying to tell me that my cat was involved in the overthrow of Chilean president, socialist Salvador Allende, you are mistaken, all right? You are absolutely mistaken. Let's not give those commies one more reason to call for my head to be chopped off, okay? Gabe PMF says, cut your hair, hippie. I'm getting it cut on Friday, so stay tuned for that. In fact, maybe I should ask the hairstylist if we can do, if I could stream it. That would be cool. I might have to delay it, though. Might not be able to do it on Friday then. Or maybe you could come here and do it. I don't know. Kami here, but I love your streams, fam. Mad Villain, if you are Kami and you are still watching me after that, I am glad to hear that you like me enough to stick around. So I hope you're doing well. Okay. Okay, so that's what's going on there. When do we get the COVID vaccine stream? When it comes out, we will definitely go and get. We will definitely go and get the vaccine. What's the story with the pin Canadian here? This is a pin of the flags of Canada, United States of America, and Mexico, and of course, those are our wonderful NAFTA allies.
Bizarre Adventure.
Have you seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? I have not, but that's very cool. I'll have to check it out. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'll have to check it out in a minute. After I answer our Canadian friend, just to let you know, this is the flag of the NAFTA countries, our trade partners, and I think we should absolutely have closer relations, a sort of union-type relationship with the other nations of North America, especially Canada. There's no reason we can't have open borders, complete free trade, and military alliance with Canada. That doesn't mean anybody has to give up their sovereignty, but they would agree to have free movement of goods, free movement of people, and common defense. I think that would be a great thing to aspire to. And then, once we got that framework in place, we could expand it to other countries, Mexico, Britain, France, Germany, NATO, Australia, Japan, New Zealand, South Korea. I think that would be wonderful. Maybe someday... Tuckle22 says the moon. Maybe someday even our wonderful friends in Taiwan. So that's what that's another thing I had that I wanted to talk about real quick. I want to read this article with you all here. This is an article in the American Conservative, one of the conservative publications I enjoy. That really strikes against one thing that I have consistently argued for on this channel, which is the defense of Taiwan. So I thought it would be fun to go over this article and maybe react to it. No American lives should be lost to defend Taiwan. Well, folks, just to be clear, I reject that premise. One of my fundamental beliefs is that the United States and all the other free nations of the world, such as they are, should stand up and defend any other free nation from external aggression. So Taiwan would certainly count by my rationale, and I would not be willing to sell out the freedom of, let me confirm, how many, 23.78 million Taiwan citizens, Taiwanese residents. I wouldn't be willing to sacrifice that. 24 million Taiwanese who live in freedom have rights, and that freedom should be protected because the loss of freedom anywhere is the threat to freedom everywhere. Felix 1943 says American lives should be lost to protect Taiwan. Yes, they should. Ideally, we wouldn't lose any lives because there wouldn't be a war, and our credible deterrent would prevent China from ever invading Taiwan. But if it comes to war, then the United States should defend Taiwan. Classical Neolib says, the American conservatives are paleocon rag. They endorsed Democrats to take the House in 2006. Wow. Damn. Well, let's check it out. Let's get into it. Maybe they'll give us a good argument. A hot war with China over the island would be a military, historic, and strategic disaster for the United States. Defend Taiwan. All right, we're renaming the stream to Defend Taiwan. Random Sunship says, just give Americans Taiwanese citizenship. Bada bing, bada boom. Actually, maybe we could just give everybody in Taiwan automatic American citizenship. That would be a cool idea. Okay. With the U.S. presidential election in full swing over the summer and fall, Americans could be excused for hardly having noticed the rising tension across the Taiwan Strait on the other side of the planet. Recent developments, however, threaten to bring a simmering pot up to a full-blown kitchen fire and maybe even a 3-alarm blaze. A Taiwan news outlet breathlessly announced that U.S. Marines were in Taiwan to train their counterparts. This could well be the first time in 4 decades that Washington has committed force to the island claimed by China. I didn't know that. Based. President Trump, I'll say this right now. If you put U.S. Marines in Taiwan, that is based and epic, and unironically going to wave that NAGA hat for you then, because that's a good decision. This could well be the first time in 4 decades that Washington has committed forces to the island claimed by China. Such exercises may have previously occurred in secret, but this is the first time these alleged activities have been revealed to the public. Though a denial was subsequently issued by the Pentagon, sparks relating to this public relations blunder may portend the real possibility of a superpower military clash over Taiwan, possibly even in the coming months. Allowing the U.S. to be drawn, sleepwalking as it were, into a major conflict over Taiwan would be an error of epochal proportions by the U.S. foreign policy establishment for 3 basic reasons: military, historic, and strategic. All right. On the military side, there's a high likelihood that China could subdue Taiwan in just 2 weeks. Even more gravely for Americans, there is a distinct possibility that U.S. forces could suffer a major defeat. The logic is simple and involves primarily geography. Taiwan is just 90 miles away from mainland China, but over 6,000 miles away from the American mainland. That vast asymmetry means that the Chinese military can bring far greater firepower into the fight at an early point against U.S. forces at the end of an exceedingly long and tenuous logistics chain. Wow. I gotta say, that's the first area where our wonderful author here is wrong. Because I gotta say, I think it's pretty clear that the United States is not just hanging out 6,000 miles away. Look at all these beautiful American military bases here in East Asia, right here in Okinawa, in mainland Japan, in South Korea, in Guam. I don't know about any of the others here, but we're a whole heck of a lot closer to Taiwan here than the author would lead on here with respect to this claim that we're 6,000 miles away. We have substantial standing forces in East Asia. So to say that we are, that's 90 to 6,000 is just not true. All right. True, amphibious invasions are inherently difficult, but China's had decades to plan, practice, and prepare its forces. New investments in missiles, rocket artillery, drones, attack aircraft, helicopters, paratroopers, and special forces now make the invasion fully feasible, as they make a defense fully feasible. Let's see this. Ooh, I'll have to check that out, Baron von Foggy Bottom. Okay. A very credible blockade option exists as well. U.S. forces would be held in check, such as by anti-ship ballistic missiles. Even the vaunted U.S. submarine force would be confronted by myriad Chinese countermeasures, including sea mines. I gotta say, if you are saying that... Look, at the end of the day, if this giant globe-spanning $1 trillion-a-year military, or almost $1 trillion-a-year military that we have is not prepared for a war with China, I mean, I don't think the question is should we be standing up to China? I guess it should be, why aren't we modernizing our forces to deal with anti-ship ballistic missiles and sea mines? But I have no doubt that we have. Okay. Certain ideologues might still argue that all of America's strength should be deployed up to and including nuclear weaponry to save Taiwan. That's me. I'm one of those certain ideologues. Such an argument could plausibly be made for the Philippines, a beleaguered country that the U.S. attempted to colonize during the early 20th century and one in which tens of thousands of Americans were sacrificed to defend in World War II. Why does that matter? I don't think the fact that Americans previously defended the Philippines makes the Philippines more precious than Taiwan. But that is an interesting argument. I guess the notion that we attempted to colonize it, therefore means we have a greater stake in it, seems a little irrelevant and nonsensical. Actually, Taiwanese fought on the side of Japan in the Pacific War. A pretty disgusting claim to make, given that Taiwan was conquered by Japan and used as a Japanese colony. So to say that, quote, Taiwanese fought on the side of Japan in the Pacific War, I mean, hell, that's like bringing up the people that were forcibly conscripted by the Nazis. And that's pretty disgusting. However, there are other critical historical points that Americans need to understand to see why the 1955 alliance treaty with Taiwan was later abrogated. Most importantly, they need to realize that Taiwan was formally incorporated into Fujian province as part of China in 1684, nearly a century prior to the American Revolution. 2 centuries later, the island was conquered by the Japanese, which explains how the Taiwanese people ended up on the wrong side of World War II. But Harry Truman was crystal clear in his explanation of U.S. policy. The U.S. has no predatory designs on Formosa, Taiwan, as it was once called Formosa, or any other Chinese territory. I gotta say, though, I don't care about this. They had the province in 1684. So what? Who cares? I mean, what matters is whether Taiwan is free in 2020 and whether the nation that has designs on it is free in 2020. I don't care what happened in 1684. The People's Republic of China, the Chinese Communist Party, might base its claim on what happened in 1684, but frankly, I don't care. What matters is the freedom of the people living there in 2020. All right, let's drop that. Taiwan did indeed become a protectorate of the U.S. during the 1950s for a time, including with deployment of U.S. nuclear weapons to the island based. However, these were wisely withdrawn, along with all other American soldiers after the Vietnam War, as part of the U.S.-China normalization process, unbased. Indeed, the withdrawal of U.S. forces formed the primary condition for normalization. Thus, the reinsertion of U.S. forces on the island represents a major retrograde step back into the intense and dangerous Cold War of the 1950s. Only this time, China is not an impoverished basket case, but rather an ascendant superpower. Just to be clear, that impoverished basket case was allied with, again, the Soviet Union, which at the time was an ascendant superpower. So, I don't know about this claim that, the scales are not so imbalanced as I think they would suggest. Today, the formal name of Taiwan's government remains the Republic of China. Palace Museum in Taiwan holds many of China's most famous treasures. An American reintervention in China's unfinished civil war not only risks military defeat and violates prior historical commitments made under multiple U.S. presidents, but would also constitute a disaster for U.S. strategy, draining Uncle Sam's coffers for dubious ends. Contrary to the view of many American strategists, Taiwan is neither cork in the bottle of Beijing's maritime aspirations nor the vital linchpin that holds together U.S. alliances in the Asia-Pacific. In fact, American alliances will be strengthened by the more realistic and feasible defense lines. The cork in the bottle, once described as an unsinkable aircraft carrier off the Chinese coast, is simply no longer feasible or wise. In actuality, this cork is set to explode with disastrous consequences for the region and for U.S. security if American forces are deployed. I gotta say, again, I do not care about the fact that it is, quote, the cork in the bottle or the unsinkable aircraft carrier, although it would logically seem, again, looking at our defenses in East Asia, to be that. I don't, that is, again, of secondary importance, though. This notion that we can't defend them, so just let it go. I mean, that's like people saying, we can't defend Poland, just let it go. No. All right. One more paragraph here. At present, we can't defend Czechoslovakia. In fact, that was the argument made for Czechoslovakia. Right here. Let me see here. The cork is set to explode. And we should, quote, strengthen more realistic and feasible defense lines. That sounds a whole lot like saying, let's, just give up the Sudetenland to the Nazis. Just give up the Sudetenland, because, frankly, we can't defend you. All right? So, screw it. Okay. At present, China does not represent an aggressive power. China absolutely does represent an aggressive power. Beijing has not resorted to the major use of force in more than 40 years. It has built a single base overseas. Still, one cannot rule out altogether that China might develop into a more bellicose form. America must hedge against this possibility, even if it is rather remote. It is certainly not remote. They've been invading Taiwanese airspace very seriously over the past year. When the Union cavalry officer John Buford surveyed the hills outside of Gettysburg in mid-1863, he concluded it was, quote, good ground to fight on. If it somehow comes to war with China, Taiwan is emphatically not good ground. Quite the opposite. Pretty disgusting, I gotta say. Felix 1943 says, this article's argument is really weak and makes just as strong an argument to work close with Taiwan in order to preempt a war. Indeed! Absolutely. I mean, if you want a war with China, I guess do what this guy's talking about doing and abandon Taiwan. Refuse to commit to its defense. I mean, look, it's first of all, again, the United States military, still the strongest in the world. I mean, we do pay $700 billion to $1 trillion a year to keep it that way. All right. We have a fleet. We have now, 12 to 13 aircraft carrier battle groups. And frankly, if we're not willing to commit those to the defense of Taiwan, I don't know what the United States stands for anymore. I mean, because if we can't defend free nations that we have been historically defending now for decades, I gotta say, I think what we're slipping into is a kind of, 1930s type appeasement. I mean, imagine if the People's Republic of China was actually willing to, invade Taiwan. Right? And subdue, by force, 24 million people who today live in a functioning democracy, in a functioning capitalist country. I mean, if we're willing to just let that happen, I mean, folks, the game is basically up at that point. I mean, that's the same kind of activity that led the world into the abyss in the 1930s. Just letting the authoritarians, letting the tyrants claim free people, writing them off and saying they're not our business, doesn't matter, we can't help them anyway. And then, you end up fighting the authoritarians one way or another anyway. I think rather than do that, I think we ought to take a firm line, and refuse to sell out Taiwan for our own expediency and say, look, we will trade with you in China. We want peace with you in China, but we will in no way, under no circumstances, sell out the 24 million free people who live in Taiwan today. And if you want war with them, you get war with us. So let's all live in peace and trade and live in friendship and harmony and all that. But you're not getting Taiwan back because you are an authoritarian, totalitarian dictatorship. And we in the United States don't surrender our allies to totalitarian dictatorships. And that's it. I mean, we're not some tiny country here. And if we, with our globe-spanning military, are not willing to defend 24 million free people who we have historically been allied to from a tyrannical state, what are we doing at that point? I mean, the subtext of this article is essentially, hey, just abandon America's role in the world, hide behind our frontiers forever, and nothing matters. Just let the rest of the world burn. Because if it doesn't stop with Taiwan, when does it stop? What's the American interest in defending Ukraine? Defending the Baltic states? Like, what's the U.S. interest in defending anyone if we're not defending Taiwan? Okay, so a very frustrating article. I think, let me see. Odremo says, if China's fighting with China, it's Trump's fault. The U.S. can't do anything about it. It's not China fighting with China. It's the Chinese Communist Party fighting with the people of Taiwan. All right. Let's see. And Dream, you said earlier, let's see. What did you say earlier here? Are you some kind of Trumpster? Why are you trying to fight with China? I don't want to fight with China. I want peace with China. I want friendship with China. But I'm not gonna trade 24 million Taiwanese people and their freedom for that. So, okay. Let's see. Good point. So why do we defend anyone? Shadow trade, I think it's real simple. Because freedom, I think, is the purpose of the United States. The institution, that is the United States of America, and the United States is an institution, is fundamentally designed, its fundamental purpose is to guarantee our individual freedom, right? And how do we protect our individual freedom? We stand together with one another against threats to that individual freedom. And can we just say, well, you see, we only need to, we don't need to, we can imagine the world doesn't exist beyond our borders. We can't do that. We tried to do that in the 1930s and 40s, and what did it end up meaning, right? America fought World War I, and Woodrow Wilson, who was a pretty miserable fella, nevertheless had a pretty reasonable idea to form a League of Nations that would work together to ensure that future wars, didn't happen, right? And so we in the United States, who came up with this idea, then refused to participate in it. The Senate wanted to retreat back into isolationism, and so the U.S. never joined the League, right? So then what happened? Well, the League floundered, and eventually, in the face of the Nazis, the fascist Italians, and the Imperial Japanese, collapsed, right? So America tried isolationism, and what ended up happening? The United States was attacked by fascist Japan, and then a few days later, the Nazi German Third Reich attacked us, right? Or declared war on us. It had been attacking us in the Atlantic for some time. So our vaunted period of isolationism led to no benefit for anybody and brought us into a war on other people's terms. And after the sacrifice of billions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of American lives, we won the war, but at much greater cost. And frankly, I think a war that perhaps if America had been more active in the world could have been avoided. So now that we fought that big war and established an international order in which the United States underwrites the security of other free nations, we shouldn't give it up. because we should always remember how much blood and how much treasure that war was bought with, or how much that peace was bought with. Shadow Trade says the war got us out of the Great Depression, though, saved America. I don't think it saved America. America would have made its way out of the Great Depression anyway. Indeed, there'd already been some recovery. And this notion that wars create wealth is just false. A war may be a way to reallocate, some resources internally, but wars not create wealth, they destroy wealth. You pour wealth into tanks and planes and machine guns, and all of it ends up destroyed and worthless, having never led any, never derived any benefit for anyone. So wars do not create wealth. They destroy it. All right. Waste of Oxygen says, why is individual freedom inherently good? What if it could be demonstrated that something which decreases everyone's individual freedom drastically increases most people's happiness? I wouldn't care. I am interested in individual freedom and in policies that I believe are necessary to preserve and protect individual freedom. So I believe, for example, a basic social welfare state with a universal basic income and universal health care is necessary. Absolutely. For our individual freedom. But I do not believe that if you just said to me, well, look, you just give up some freedom and people will be much happier. I don't care about other people's happiness compared to my freedom. That is so secondary to me. I am not interested in it. I am more interested in policies that you can explain and justify to me are designed to, in the long run, protect and preserve individual freedom. But if you can't make an argument on that basis, I'm just not interested. So, okay. How can you claim war creates some new world order, but not that? Okay, well, now that's a different claim, Wildis. I believe the claim made by Shadow Trade was that the war itself didn't create conditions and we benefited in. It just benefited us, which is different. Certainly in the aftermath of World War II, the rest of the world tore itself to shreds. The United States was, in effect, the only rich country, I guess, alongside Canada, maybe Australia, New Zealand, that hadn't been blown to shreds in one form or another. And certainly we had, I guess, a temporary competitive advantage. We had the chance to build economic institutions, to use our wealth as leverage to get better economic institutions that favored us. But long story short, I don't believe that war itself is an economic benefit for the United States. You could argue the conditions that followed a war, the different international order that follows, is economically beneficial, but that's a different claim. Citizen Cicero says, and I think quoting Eisenhower here, every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies in the final sense a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and not clothed. This world in arms is not spending money alone. It is spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, the hopes of its children. The cost of one modern heavy bomber is this, a modern brick school in more than 30 cities. And that's true. And folks, I think that cost, fundamentally, if we are going to charge it, if we're going to levy it, that cost is not a cost that we should leave on the shelf and just say, well, you see, this is for our ultimate protection, and it's probably excessive for that purpose, just to protect our country. We aren't interested in protecting our country's long-term interests. Instead, we're going to abandon our allies and pursue this parochial a narrow view of America first, which means that the only country's interests that we will defend are our country's interests, which we will define very narrowly. I define our country's interests much more broadly, and I think they're very justifiably defined as such, that our country's interest is the defense of every free nation in the world, as far as materially possible. And it ain't always possible, but if we can do it, we should do it. And we can definitely defend Taiwan, indeed, as we've been doing it now for decades, since the declaration of the Chinese Communist State in 1949. So that's my thoughts on Taiwan, and I appreciate the chance to share them with y'all here. All right. Who died and made Bassett king? Am I right, fellas? Nobody, but then again, this is an internet stream where I guess I can mouth off about whatever I like, so that's why I did it. Okay, now, Nate, if you're in here, Nate, are you in here? I hope you're in here, because if you are, we're going to pivot to some very important content now, ladies and gentlemen, that we've covered Taiwan. Okay, I think Nate is, I believe he's ready. Let's see. Okay, he's here.
Napa 1911 just subscribed. Invade Hong Kong.
See, that's actually a good point. Napa 1911, not invade Hong Kong, but you raise Hong Kong. We can't do anything about Hong Kong, right? It's already a part of China. It has already been subdued by force. Nothing we can do about it.
Months,
But we can do other things for them. We could, for example, grant citizenship to everybody in Hong Kong and let them come here to the United States, where they would thrive and prosper. That's one thing we could do. But that's an example of a place where there's nothing else we can do by force right now. We can't invade a nuclear power, but we can deter against a nuclear power. So, all right. Bad Simmer says, still seems like America is someone who can never be invading other countries. I would not say never. Okay. Napa, thank you very much for subscribing now for 7 months, so I appreciate that. And Coogan, 12 months. Very cool, my friend. You got that nice gold 12-month subscriber badge. Thank you so much for that, my friend. I really do appreciate that. All right. Support one country, two systems, not give out U.S. citizenship like candy. Actually, Goldhead, I would give it out like candy with respect to the people of Hong Kong. If I could, I would. Or at least, if not citizenship, maybe citizenship is too much. I don't think it is, but maybe it is. We don't have to give them citizenship. We can just give them the unconditional right to live and work here. All right? So they can earn citizenship. I think that might be a more reasonable thing to say. Hey, okay, let them live and work here and earn citizenship individually and go with that. I think that's another good thing to do. Call Me Critical says, you're incredibly knowledgeable and well-spoken. What's your education background? I'm an attorney, and thank you very much for the kind words. Granddad Christmas says, and welcome to the channel. It is good to have you. Let them come like the Cubans. Indeed. Absolutely. Everybody in Cuba ought to be free to come here. And frankly, we ought to be normalizing our relationship with Cuba because at the end of the day, the size disparity between the United States and Cuba means that if we normalized economic relations, Cuba could not help but be drawn in our orbit. Could it? Okay. All right. What did you major in for undergrad? Public relations and criminology. And I don't use criminology at all. Okay. I work in the fossil fuel industry. Call me critical. In natural gas and electricity in particular. So that's what I do. All right. So with that, let's see here. Okay. Nate Swade is in here. Let me see if I can get him on the call because we have an important issue to discuss, ladies and gentlemen. See here. And I like nuclear energy, just to be clear, classical neolib, but I think it is, for regulatory and cost reasons, probably less tenable than solar and wind. But I have nothing against it. I think it should be, I think it should be a part of the climate change solution, but I am skeptical that it will be. So, okay, all right. So with that, we are going to be doing some praxis now with Nate Swade. Let me turn that streamer mode off. Nate, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And for the folks here watching from home, I hope you can hear Nate as well. So let me give Nate a brief introduction. Nate is a great Twitch streamer. He's an OG Twitch streamer. He runs a wonderful channel that I'm going to drop a link to. You should all check out. We're all big Nate fans here. As Ghanem says, we love Nate. And Nate is here to help me talk about an issue that I think is very dear to our hearts, that I think we're going to be collaborating on over the next, I don't know, at least the next couple calendar quarters to try and make a difference on.
Yes.
Try and become difference makers. So, Nate, could you talk a little bit about this issue that we're here to talk about tonight?
Sure thing, and thanks so much for having me here. It's a pleasure. I was listening to a lot of your stream today. I thought it was pretty fantastic, and I hope people appreciate all the work you put in here by subscribing as soon as possible and with their Twitch Primes. So with that, let's get right into it. I was looking for issues that could unify America, because there's so much division today, and I think it's very problematic.
Mm-hmm.
I think what can really bring people together? People love food. But then I started really thinking, what are the best foods? And we start thinking about the best foods. You start thinking about all kinds of cuisines, or I like pizza, I like whatever. Then I realized something that we all forgot about, and I didn't realize how great this cause was until I realized all the potential in it. We need to bring back Planters PB Crisp. And I know this seems like, oh wait, what is this? This is so lame. This is so corny. The PB Crisps were the greatest snack of all time. A crispy, light wafer shaped in the form of a peanut with a creamy peanut butter center filling. Not too much salt, not too much sweet. And unlike Reese's Cups or Nutter Butters, which taste like ass, let's be real.
Let's be real.
I don't know what they did to the peanut butter cup recipe, but it doesn't taste good anymore. The chocolate just tastes god awful.
Ugh.
Tastes chalky. So we need, I think, not just gamers, but everybody in America, especially the working class. And I figure, you know, the left, which in America we define as anybody to the left of Gerald Ford. I think whether you're anarcho-communist, a Dengist,
just
a Maoist,
subscribed.
Bidenist,
Yellen, musical, true
a Democrat,
neoliberal dream.
whatever, I think we can all get behind and realize that this is our chance for the working class to bring about the reintroduction of PB Crisp.
Indeed.
And Mr. Peanut's expropriation of what is the worker's heritage, what is the worker's rights to have a great snack.
Yeah, absolutely. Peanut butter cream inside, crispy cookie outside. Here's some pictures, a cross section. You can see the light and fluffy, crisp texture here of the PB Crisp, as well as the delightful creamy peanut butter inside. But you know, Nate, thinking about this, I remember. Got him. What? You better. Those look fucking disgusting. Hey. Why don't you zip your lip and close your mouth? All right, you ungrateful man. Because they look delicious. Okay, and we're not doing that here. Okay, that's slander.
I can't believe Gundam would say that.
Yeah, I can't believe it either. But John Joseph Jingle here says, "Is this some boomer snack?" And I think that's something that I was thinking about when thinking about, you know, whether this is an issue that can unify our community, that we can really do meaningful praxis on. You know, I remember PB Crisps from like 20 years ago, but I don't know if everybody else does, because we got a lot of Zoomers here who, you know, let's face it, they were all born after 9/11, right? They have lived in the hell world that we've been living in since. They don't remember the 90s, you know? They don't remember Pogs and Game Boy Original. You know, they don't remember what it was like to live in the unipolar moment. They don't remember that blissful pre 9/11 period.
Exactly, that's such a good point, and I actually talk about this quite a bit. There's so few amongst the young people today, and they're so they don't have they were deprived of that pre 9/11 America. They have no memories, no concept of what it was like to ride Huffy bikes around your neighborhood, knowing that you're safe and secure, knowing that the World Trade Center still stood, knowing that America's place in the world was unquestionable. And it's sad that they'll never have that psychological comfort. But what I will say, what gave me some hope, and we can take some inspiration from our business leaders. If y'all remember the release of Blizzard's classic WoW, everyone flocked back to that, at least for a while. And they love, you know, people just love vanilla WoW, including the Zoomers. Oh, I want to play this for the first time. They got all excited for playing a product that was, you know, about 20 years old, barely functional, and, you know, kind of mediocre for even when it came out, but that everyone loved. And I think like that's really perfect for a movement. And I think whether you're a nuclear lobbyist, you want healthcare for all, you want to have open borders, I think all these people who want to work for different things, this could be a chance for you to practice, and we could all practice this together. Because if you're on the left and you want I don't know, healthcare for all or universal basic income or something like that, if you can't get planters, or I guess it's Kraft now, if you can't get them to make PB Crisp, what chance do you have to get healthcare for all? What chance do you have for Medicare for anybody?
I think that's a really powerful point. I mean, if you can't convince a food company to produce a delicious snack once again, I mean, do you really think you're going to be able to do any of your big ideas? I mean, frankly, right or left, if you dream as you know, as some people do, of returning to a simpler time, a time with a certain moral values that went unquestioned. I mean, that's a serious change of society. I mean, if you can't get Planters PB Crisps back on the market, do you really think you're going to be able to transform society in much deeper and more meaningful ways? Seems unlikely.
And I figure the left, I mean, they long ago gave up on real action, and they're already swarming social media. And this is exactly the kind of change that they could deliver. And they're very loud. They have large platforms. They mean well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they want to change the world for good. And I think this is a company, and companies can respond to social pressure.
For sure.
And they could notch it as a victory. And as I've seen from my sociology classes, you know, just a small group of, what did Margaret Mead say? It was like a small group of people
Yes.
who are committed and
Yes.
devoted can really make a lot of change. So like, I figured we only need, what, a few thousand people, a few thousand of us to go out there consistently. And whenever Mr. Peanut makes a post on the Twitter, we say, bring back those PB Crisp. I did one today. I said, I said, you fools, bring back PB Crisp. You're sitting on a gold mine.
Yes.
You gotta make it look like it's in their interest.
Absolutely, folks. And again, as Nate mentioned here, Margaret Mead said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." I mean, frankly,
Exactly.
I think it's worth remembering here. And let's see here. Bololak says, "Hi, Bossian. I'm a Zoomer that doesn't remember 9/11. Were PB Crisps also another casualty of the tragedy of the worst terrorist attack on American soil?" I mean, no. I think they were discontinued in 1995.
Yeah,
But,
it's out there.
that was 6 years before 9/11. Osama bin Laden was at large, and and not really. It's 9/11 is sort of we mention that as sort of a moment where society sort of shifted gears in terms of its outlook from being very positive and hopeful to being very negative and fearful. All right. And what we're saying is here, this a wonderful snack represents a chance to go back and in some ways perhaps to go forward, to transcend that fear and anger and hopelessness, and to do so in a way that makes it clear that we can make a difference. We can, as individuals, come together and make positive change in our society. And it worked for cheese balls.
It worked for cheese. It's worked in the past. This kind of pressure has definitely worked in the past. I
Yeah.
think we can revitalize this. Another
Yeah.
thing to remember too is in the 90s, America was still. This is before NAFTA. This is before a lot of our larger sort of international trade agreements. This is before we even had. This is the mid 90s. So we weren't as there were still regional blocks of like interest, concerns, taste, and appeal.
Yeah.
Where I think now we're much more universal, right? Like if you went to the South 50 years ago, you see like a bunch of these Piggly Wiggly stores, right?
Yes, I remember. Yes, Piggly Wiggly.
Right. But if you went to Maine, you wouldn't really see many Piggly Wigglies, or if you were in Idaho, you wouldn't see many. They would have their own, I don't know, Safeway or something, or some other sort of. And so, but now we're much more, I think, at least when it comes to markets, I think we're a lot more exposed to different regions, like their little niches, I guess we would call them.
Yes, for anybody who doesn't know, the Piggly Wiggly, a southern institution. I shop at Publix, though. Piggly Wiggly is gross.
And I'm just thinking, I mean, this is such a good chance to flex our social media muscle, and we can shout from the hollers of Harlan County, from the tops of the mountains of the Cascade region of the United States. We can go from sea to shining sea to shining sea. We can go from all the Golden Plains,
yes,
to the fan boats of Florida can whirl, and our good friends in Texas out there in Odessa Midland can keep on drilling. And as they're sitting there waiting for the next hydraulic fracturing canister to go through, they can go tweet about the PB Crisp.
Stories as Models just said, "Doesn't this seem like a petty white boy cause? Cringe."
That's really hyper cringe, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that is so hyper cringe. I mean, first of all, to make this about race, which it is not, this is a cause that can unify and that can teach praxis. And you're trying to frame it as a petty racial thing. Stories as Models, I want to thank you, first of all, for being a subscriber. But I got to say, that's cringe,
Exactly. And if we can do this small campaign, then that can help people realize that they can take more power into their own hands and pressure other companies for other things that they want. And
Absolutely.
whether you're pushing for more wind or more nuclear, I remember you were just talking about nuclear, which, by the way, I think is on the way out. I know people want it to happen, but if you look at the cost of everything else, I just don't understand how it's going to survive in this solar panel world we have now, where everything's getting cheaper. And you have natural gas out there just destroying nuclear economically.
Seems like it. D. Rawman says there were attempts by Redditors to contact planters as to why they stopped it, but they gave vague answers and said it's never coming back. Just to be clear, D. Rawman, I think that what you are saying right there, I think what you're doing right there is forwarding some anti-PB Crisp propaganda. And actually, I have it on good authority from an expert on this subject, from an expert on this subject. Let me pull up the tweet here. I have it on good authority from an expert from PB Crisps Fanatic, an account that has been working for the last 2.5 years. That is not true, and that this is actually still very possible, and the Planters has never said that they are never coming back. All right, so here's what I'd like to propose that we do. And Nate, I don't know if you're interested in this. I know you're a busy guy. Maybe maybe you gotta run. I'm thinking that maybe we could kind of show people what Praxis looks like by doing a little of it tonight. I was thinking maybe we could come together and compose a tweet. And then write a letter to Kraft Heinz Marketing and let them know just how we feel about this issue.
Wow, that would be great. That would be an honor.
Okay, all right. So what I was thinking, folks, is I think this the quote that Nate just dropped is really, I think, inspiring. And I was thinking that maybe let's switch over here. I think this is very inspiring. I was thinking maybe what we could do is. And here's the original tweet. Please join me in the working class struggle. This is how this came to my attention. Please join me in the working class struggle to bring PB Crisp back into production. The working class cannot survive on bread alone. Mr. Peanut has expropriated the best snacks for too long and must be held to account. What I'm thinking is, we first of all, we use a compelling image, a compelling quote, and then we say, we tag Mr. Peanut, first of all. Right, which is what they told us to do here. We tag Mr. Peanut at Mr. Peanut.
I like this.
And then we say, in I think capital letters, preferably, bring back PB Crisps. And then we use, I don't know. Do you think 3 exclamation points is too many, or should we go with 1? I don't know. Wait.
See, 3 might be unhinged. 1 might be too understated. 2 could be just right.
Okay, 2.
2 could be just right. Just enough enthusiasm,
I think. See, what I'm laughing about here is Jesus Durden is going off about social constructs and conservatism, and just get all that. Jesus, it's good to have you here, Jesus. First of all, thank you, Jesus Durden. Presumably a mixture of Tyler Durden and Jesus Christ, the Savior of mankind, and also the Son of the Lord God. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're talking about praxis. We're talking about making real change. And
people like Karl Marx, they were always all about praxis, apparently. And this is exactly what I think Marx had in mind when he was talking about changing the world. People have like these big dreams, but honestly, it's the small things we do every day that really add up and help other people.
I think actually that there might be something something else. Perhaps there's another approach we can take. Maybe instead of this tweet, we could do this tweet. The philosophers have only interpreted the world. The point, however, is to change it.
True. Oh, now this is beautiful because I think my rhetoric and the other tweet is a little too class oriented. It's people would see that as unhinged. See, this image it looks like kind of like an inspirational quote, and then this is much better actually. This is a much better, I think, and it will get the left on board too. If they see a guy with a beard like that, a dark mustache, they know they're not even going to think about what the message is. They're not even going to think about what the words mean. They're just going to go. They're going to hit like. That's good.
I think that's true. I think that's true. I think that's a really good point. C. Silval says, how is Marx so based? Look, I think if Marx helps us to bring back PB Crisps, that will have been perhaps the greatest thing he ever did. So, folks, what do you think? Do you think this tweet looks good? Again, we're composing a tweet together. Do you like the, let's see here, do you like the Marx tweet or do you like the Margaret Mead tweet? Marx or Margaret Mead, who do you think is more fitting for our message here of kind of changing the world, of bringing back PB Crisps? Margaret Mead, looks like we've got a lot of votes for Margaret Mead.
There's a lot of Mead. We could crowdsource that. I appreciate the humor of the Marx one, but I guess the Mead is less intimidating.
Probably true. We'll save Marx though. We'll save that. Okay, so who am I says Marks. Well, Marks did gift a lot of subscriptions tonight. Folks, here's what we're going to do. Ball's too big for sack. First of all, that sounds very painful. It says Mark seems pretentious. Put an image of Margaret Thatcher saying a Marx quote. Oh, that's good. I like that idea a lot. I think that would be a good idea. We'll do that down the line. In fact, that actually might be a way to really clean up. Because the issue with Marx is, he's a very charged figure. Margaret Mead, not so much. But Marx is definitely a charged figure. So maybe we could get the left and the right on board by using Marx's words and Margaret Thatcher's face. What do you think of that, Nate?
I think there's a very large crossover, which would probably not realize what we did. I think each one of those individuals are heroes to them, and they're not really going to go double check.
Yeah,
I think
that's a good point. I saw somebody do that with Reagan the other day. Somebody used some kind of lefty quote on a picture of Reagan, and it went gangbusters. So, Liam Regan says, "Good job on the Destiny of Moderation podcast. Do you think men are inherently superior, and that's why they've always been our leaders in the world?" No, I think just men are stronger, and so for a long time, that's probably why they were the ones in charge. And now we have a society that is not based on, an underwriting of brute physical strength. We have more legally enforced equality, or legally protected equality, and it's sometimes enforced. And therefore, people's natural talents are able to rise to the fore, and that's why men are no longer, quote, always our leaders in the world. So that's, I think, the difference there.
I saw someone said, compare PB Crisp to peanut butter pretzels, and I think, bless their Zoomer heart, because they probably didn't have the chance to experience PB Crisp, which is what we're trying to change.
Yeah.
But peanut butter pretzels, they have an okay peanut butter center, but oftentimes I find that they are cutting the roof of your mouth, or they're overly salty, or not salty enough, or you're adding all the extra carbohydrate when really you just want a nice little light pop crunch of flavor,
Yeah.
And there's just too much. It's like a meal.
Yeah.
They're too much. They're not a snack.
Too much. I agree. And I got to say, Gondam did raise a good point. The sad part is that the 19-year-old who runs the Mr. Peanut account probably has no idea what PB Crisps are and will just ignore your stupid tweet. Not so, because we have now added the website address here so that they will be able to click and see what it is we're talking about. So we will make our voice heard. So folks, if you want to engage in praxis with me, first we're going to tweet that. Let's proofread it. Mr. Peanut, bring back PB Crisps. We've got 2 exclamation points to let them know that we're...
More?
What's that?
I saw Gondam and some other people saying we should have 4 to 5 exclamation points.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's actually better. I don't know.
Let's see. So that's 5. That's a lot. Gondam says 4. Bolalax says 4. Sirix Rogue says 7. I think that's too much. 10? Yeah, okay. I think we're getting into a serious... this is some serious Parks and Rec member of the public energy here. Okay. So, folks, I think... won't know you're serious without a dozen? Holy moly. Okay, I gotta say, I think let's stick with 4. What do you think, Nate? You think 4 is good?
Yeah, no more than 4. We would. I think anyone saying like 12 or above is just a saboteur.
I think you're right. In fact, Gondam did say that he thinks this is a stupid idea. So let's go back to 2. Okay. You're right, because there is the risk of sabotage here for sure. There's definitely the risk of sabotage. All right. C. Silval says, "What are PB Crisps?" I don't know if I'm too young or too South American to get it. Just to be clear, they are a delightful, delicious snack food available in the United States from 1992 to 1995. And we are showing people that political change is possible by taking action to bring them back. So, okay. So, what we're going to do is we are going to hit tweet and begin making a difference.
So wait, one other thing too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of new to Twitter. This is actually like my most liked tweet of all time.
Oh,
17
wow.
likes. That's amazing.
Folks, I just made an amateur hour mistake. I forgot you can't tag, you can't start a tweet with somebody's name, or it goes into the bottom of the pile. So,
how do we have to hashtag it up or anything like that?
I don't have a hashtag yet. Hang on. Oh, just a second. Nate, if you could keep everybody here engaged for a minute, I would really appreciate it.
Well, everybody, let's see. Dunkaroos greater than PB Crisp. Now, that was a very high value commodity at the lunchroom table for sure. Dunkaroos, I remember that had very high trade value, and that's actually where I learned my first economics lesson, which I've also jettisoned, by the way, because economics is it is what it is. I wouldn't put too much stock in it. I just sort of get what you can get. Get yours.
Right on. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to start with, hey, Mr. Peanut. Hey, Mr. Peanut, hyphen. There we go. Okay. Does that look good? Yeah. Okay, now we're going to tweet it out. Hey, Mr. Peanut, bring back PB Crisps. Never. And I think
Does the hashtag thing just collect other people's messages who are also hashtagging that same hashtag?
I think so. I think so. So, folks, here, if you could do us a big favor, a big solid, click that tweet and like it, all right? And make a difference, all right? I'm going to take the extraordinary step of liking my own tweet to help with the cause. So I see we've got some likes here, folks. If we can get this boosted, if you've got a Twitter and you're willing to retweet it, that's how we build traction, and that's how we make change. Okay? So, okay. So next, I guess, is writing a letter. What do you think? And this, I think, will definitely make Nate Swade more active on Twitter, which is
definitely
which is a big goal for sure.
You have to do that if you want to be an online personality. You just simply can't afford to not stick your neck out there in Twitter crossfire,
Indeed. Desi93, thank you again for subscribing as well. I really do appreciate that. I'm not sure if I caught you when we were chatting, but thank you for that. Okay, so the next thing is to write a letter. Gondam says, I will write your letter. That's incredible, folks. That's really incredible.
Also, hold on. I got to call somebody out real fast. There's an extraordinarily bad faith act that I just saw posted by an individual known by Geek with Glasses. Put an unconscionable, or I don't even know how you say that word, unconscionable GIF below the Margaret Mead tweet. I think it's just terrible.
Hold on a minute here. Hold on a minute here. Geek with Glasses. What is this, Geek? Wait. What? What the hell is this, Geek? What is this clown stuff? This is not a joke. This is serious stuff. And again,
really,
this is a clear dislike. It's disgusting.
It's bad faith all around. This is exactly what they were talking about. If you had gone back to ancient Greece, I mean, and you pulled something like this, they'd be taking it down to the Athenian courthouse, and you'd have a draft of hemlock in your hand by the end of the night.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. If you're lucky, frankly. If you're lucky. Geek, you were cruising for an unfollowing, okay? All right, this is not a joke. This is serious stuff. Okay, so, yeah, I agree. And everybody, please do let Geek know that tweet is unacceptable, okay? So one more time, for everybody who may have missed it, please do click this tweet and like and retweet it to help the cause of PB Crisps. Team Blue Magic making a difference here, tagging Mr. Peanut. Thank you so much, Team Blue Magic, for being a part of our team to make a difference, okay? So thank you so much there, all right? Making progress, making change. It's good stuff. It's beautiful stuff. 22 likes already. That's pretty incredible. Geek with Glasses, we will not be retweeting any of that. That is deleted. All right. So there's that.
And this is your chance around the holiday season. We just had Thanksgiving, which, by the way, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, Boss, and I hope everyone in chat did too.
Yeah, same here. I hope you did too, my friend.
And this is our chance to do something positive in the world and try to avoid all the political bickering and just have a win for everybody. I think this is just it's another option for you. It's more choice. It's more it's activism, and I think everyone can win and have a good time.
I agree. I absolutely agree. So Gondam is going to write a letter for us. Do you think we should, here's the question I have. Should we write our own letter? Should we both, would one really good letter be more powerful than two letters? I don't know. What do you think?
Just by guessing, I would say like multiple letters would probably be not a bad bet.
Yeah, it's probably true. Okay, so let's take a look at their template. Okay, so their template that they suggest here To whom it may concern, I'm writing to request that you consider reviving a discontinued product, Planters PB Crisp. Planters PB Crisp are my favorite peanut butter snack.
True.
The taste, the shape, the crunch, everything about them was unique.
True.
When they were discontinued, a part of me was lost. I have tried other Planters and Kraft products, but nothing comes close. You and your team had something quite special with this product. In my opinion, now would be a great time to bring these snacks back. Many other 90s snacks being made again. Why not hop aboard that bandwagon? In case you weren't aware, there's currently a Bring Back PB Crisp movement that has thousands of followers. Other people want them to. Sincerely, Name.
Actually, not bad.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
And the first paragraph there, I thought, Gundam might have already written that, and then sort of like hacked the website and put his one on there.
Yeah. I think that's true. I gotta say, I like some of the traction we're seeing already here. This is really cool. Mr. Bleeple saying, "Hey, Mr. Peanut, we the people want PB Crisps. Amen." Bastiat making a difference from Rex Ashbaugh. Thank you, Rex. I know that another person who follows me on Twitter, I believe, told you recently, or asked you. In fact, let me see if I can find this. This was let's see here. This was okay. Okay. Rex Ashbaugh recently said women frequently have no understanding or appreciation for the hoops men are willing to jump through to please them. To which Kit Havicious said, "You need a drink for when you blow your own load down your own throat, there, hun." So the fact that after that kind of exchange, that Rex is still willing to engage positively for positive political change, I think is pretty incredible. So, okay. Okay. I thought drone strikes and handing banks money. I thought that was a meme against Mr. Peanut or something. Okay. So anyway, folks, I think we should get together, write letters, and really take some serious action to kind of make a difference.
And yeah, if we get any progress, maybe we'll check back in, see if anything, any news, if we get any responses.
Yeah,
we'll update.
I think that would be good. If we could put out maybe one tweet, a week about it or something. Maybe get a movement going. Maybe we could up it to a day. I don't know. But I think there's something there. Quickie Mart asks, do we have to buy stamps? It does seem like they want the letters in person, like written letters delivered by snail mail make more of a difference. I wonder if, do you think they would be as effective if I sent them on people's behalf? But you'd still need I
mean, how much is a stamp these days? Like 47 cents or something?
Yeah, but you can't usually buy just one, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And plus, we're asking people to make a difference, so we have to ask them to do as little as possible, right?
Yeah.
Like 47 cents. I got to go to the Piggly Wiggly and pick up a stamp to mail a letter that I got to print out. I mean, that's a lot of steps. Folks, I agree that 40 cents is worth PB Chris' possible revival. But if you are willing to write a letter and you send it to me, I will print it and mail it at my own expense for you. All right. This is my commitment to you. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to put my own stamps on the line here. Up to, let's say, the first 100 letters, I will pay for the stamps for those letters. I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is, folks, to get those letters mailed out to make a difference here.
It's extremely generous of Boss to do that, and I think everyone you could help them right now actually by subscribing and help to defray some of that cost.
That's true. We're looking at a cost well into the double digits there, folks. So if you'd like to subscribe and help make a difference, now's the time. Free of charge with Amazon Prime and Twitch Prime, and all those subscriptions go to making the channel a better place. All right. So Gondam is no longer in chat, which leads me to suspect that he is actually writing a letter right now.
Oh,
letter almost done. Holy moly, ladies and gentlemen, we have a letter coming in just a few minutes here from Gondam himself, our resident bard, our resident writer. Very exciting stuff. I'm excited to see what happens here with it.
Well, I have another question for you, just a little bit off topic, but as we're waiting for Gondam to finish. What do you think about the idea of having a global highway? Just one giant belt around the world that connects every country, so we can finally drive to, say, China or Europe.
Well, I like that idea because I tell you, I don't like flying. I hate it. It disgusts me. It's terrible for our environment, and frankly, I'm scared of flying.
Me too, actually. I'm pretty much all the same.
Yeah, it's in fact, let me see if I can find a good picture of this proposed highway here. Okay, here we go. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Trans Global Highway by Frank Diddick in 2006. This is what it would look like. I believe this map was drawn on Microsoft Paint. It would be quite a road trip for sure, but it would be a really amazing highway. It would cover all the Americas, going through the Darien Gap here. Major water and mountain crossings have been carefully analyzed, and the necessary tunnels and bridges are completely feasible with using existing technology. So that's pretty cool. Glorp Sauce, thank you for subscribing at Tier 2. Who Am I says this is a joke, right? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, in fact, I know that this is just some guy's link here, but this certainly isn't the first person. He certainly isn't the first person to suggest it.
I think there's a lot of opportunity, one, with global cooperation, which, I mean, I think we could always use more of. We could always use more countries working together, people building friendships and communities together, like kind of like how we do online, but this time, you know, we're all going to get together and build a road that connects all of us.
Yeah.
And think it will do for trade. I think it could usher in more peace, actually. You think of something like Pax Romana or Pax Mongola, you know, these large periods of peace where, like, trade flourishes and everyone gets wealthier and people have more products, more access to more things.
Mm-hmm.
You can go anywhere you want to. Like you're saying, if you wanted more open immigration around the world, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Now you could put rails alongside here. You could put cars, or I mean, hell, make a bike path too right next to it. Right, just get everything, get every possibility that you could have. You have it on these highways, and people can just move around.
That's true. So the big connection here is the Bering Strait. That's how we connect the two halves of the world here. A bridge across the Bering Strait, or as this plan calls for, a tunnel. Be pretty exciting. There's a bridge to Japan, bridges or tunnels across, I guess this is all tunnels. Tunnels across Indonesia. Pretty exciting stuff. So, I think it's a cool idea. I hope it happens someday. I think, though, that a lot of folks maybe don't appreciate a good road trip, but, nevertheless, we might still get it as a good, cheap way to deliver freight, maybe. I don't know, but then again, freight travel by ship is pretty cheap already, so.
I think as cars get more advanced, you have Teslas coming out here, they're self-driving. You could sleep for a few hours, and then you wake up and you just sort of enjoy the sights. You don't have to worry about anybody else, stealing your stuff on a train or something. If anyone's ever taken Amtrak, you have your own car. You can stop whenever you need to, and maybe you want to. Oh, there's a nice little town over there. Now you have some tourism. You stop by there. You buy some cup of coffee. Maybe, taste the local cuisine, and you're off again. I think there's a lot of opportunity.
So I agree with that, and something else I have to share here. This letter here from Gondam here, which I guess I don't really have a good way to display right off the bat, so I'm just going to read it real quick here. And let's see. Here's a picture, I guess, of me from earlier in the stream that we'll use as this is me. This is me reading the letter here. So let's just move this here. Okay. No, sorry. Let's go with the PB Crisps picture. There we go. All right. Bring back PB Crisps. Here's our letter. All right, let's get the camera back in here. Come on. There we go. Almost. All right. Dear Kraft Foods, please, for the love of God, bring back peanut butter crisps. They're called PB Crisps, just to be clear. So we'll have to fix that. I've got to fix this zoom here. I think if it keeps doing this, my camera is just drunk tonight. It really doesn't like the MAGA hat. So let me maybe it's the headset too. Okay. I don't have much going on in my life right now, and fantasizing about making a difference in the world by bringing back a childhood snack that I used to enjoy when I didn't have law school debt, a mortgage, or a nagging girlfriend, who's not nagging, by the way, would make it all feel less painful. Looking at the old images of PB Crisps makes me harder than collecting rent from my tenants. PB Crisps were so unique and irreplaceable, many have noted how they look like animal feces, but let me assure you they taste much different. It should be known that I am a short man with a borderline Napoleon complex, and I will use my vast resources, oil money, to bring back PB Crisps by all means necessary. This is your final warning and a thank you for your consideration. Warm regards. Wow. I'm going to fix the blur here. But before I do, what do you think of that, Nate? What do you think of that letter?
I really appreciate the intensity of it. Maybe if we I don't know, might have to fix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just spruce it up. Maybe a couple editorial decisions here or there.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I think that's a good call. Who am I? Thank you for gifting 5 subscriptions, by the way. 1 to Avant-Gardist, 1 to Yellow Alien Baby, 1 to Clint Freedwood, 1 to Jeff12, and 1 to Yaspa. Thank you so much for that. That's, I believe, somewhere in the order of, well, that's at least, I think that's probably 50 stamps. So thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate that. Very cool, my friend. Very cool. I would say... No, that can't be 50 stamps. I'm terrible at math because I'm an attorney. So, but it's a lot of stamps, all right? It's a lot of stamps.
I think you could just, change a couple of words. Instead of saying I'm a short man with a borderline Napoleon complex, you'd say I'm a tall man with a borderline altruism complex.
Yes.
Make it sound a little bit.
That's where it's
kinder.
at. Yes, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Also, I don't like the notion of sexualizing it by talking about getting, quote, hard. I don't like that. I think PB Crisps are wholesome and they should stay that way. So,
maybe the animal feces.
Yeah,
that line too.
Yeah, that's no good. That's no good. I don't like that. So I've got to fix my camera real quick here again. I'm going to be right back. And Nate, maybe if you have any other thoughts on the campaign, you could share them real quick.
Well, folks, I'll probably end up heading off soon anyway, so I don't want to take any more of your guys' time. I know you're really here to see Bastier. And so thank him for having me on here, and thanks everyone in chat for dealing with this social justice campaign. Please continue to follow Bastier. Look for these updates, look for these tweets, try and retweet them as best you can. We're gonna see if this thing actually works. We're actually gonna, this is a little test. Think if there's any scientists out here who really want to see if social media pressure does something. Well, now's the time. This is how we make change in the world. At least from what I've heard, from what I've seen of current day practice. So yeah, other than that, I hope everyone's having a great Thanksgiving, and you're gonna have a great Christmas and all that too. It's really been fun here being on Twitch here with the best lawyer on the platform. I know there's some really diehard lecture fan lawyers out there, but if I had committed some sort of some issue had happened in Montana, I still think I'd make that call down in Florida.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that, Nate. Nate, thank you so much also for bringing us some awareness of the issue. Let's see how our tweet is doing real quick. See whether we're getting some traction here. Let's see here. Okay, 33 likes, ladies and gentlemen. 33 likes for quote tweets. Making a difference, bringing back the crisps, liking, and then we also got 6 retweets. Thank you to everybody here, all you wonderful people. Leslie, thank you, Leslie, for making a difference. Very cool. All right. PB Crisp Revivalist. Yes. Oh my goodness, so cool. Adding the cause awesome to your profile. Big ups. Big ups to you, my friend. Thank you so much for that, Leslie. Legendary, indeed. Okay, so Nate, we're making a difference. We're building traction, and I hope you, my friend, have a wonderful night.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
What is, you changed the name of your stream.
Oh, It's FTLBZ, which is an acronym or shortening of Fortified Labs. But that was back when I used to care more about economics and all that stuff. But now I've turned away from economics. I've gone towards science. I've gone towards the light, away from the darkness, away from the superstition and myths. And I've gone towards just trying to focus on the real world rather than the fantasies of people who really never stepped outside of a classroom on a campus. So it's a real turnaround. But FTLBZ. Thank you so much for the shout out. Thanks for having me. I hope you have a great holiday season. Maybe we'll talk to you before Christmas. But yeah, keep up the good work, and I guess I'll see you around.
Right on. You too, my friend. And there's a link to Nate's channel. Be sure to give him a follow. He may be streaming tonight. So who can say? But I hope either way, you have a wonderful night.
Yep, I'll be streaming, and see you everybody. Thank you.
Okay. C. Silval says, you doing the praxis, but who wrote the theory? That's real easy. We know who did the theory. It's Planters Peanuts. They did the theory. And we are doing the praxis. All right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we've now got another little diversion. I missed the praxis. Oh, that's a real shame that you missed the praxis, my friend. But it is good to have you all the same. Holy moly! More people retweeting, liking, sharing our content. Pretty amazing stuff, folks. I'm really appreciative of that. Very cool. Basket, what law school did you go to? I don't want to dox myself, but I went to a pretty good, I'd say, at upper third, of middle of law schools, I guess I'd say. It's a public law school. Pretty good, among public schools, pretty highly ranked. But yeah, he went to West Virginia University. No, I did not. Okay. So next we have a Glorp sauce. I think he's here. Glorp, if you're listening, we've got Glorp who's going to come in and tell us about robots, which should be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Glorp sauce, are you ready? If you're ready, hop on in.
Toast 92 just subscribed. Hello.
Galactic Toast, thank you so much for subscribing at Tier 1. I appreciate that so much, my friend. Very cool. And Who Am I 4054, thank you for gifting a subscription to Geek with Glasses and one to Violent Smoker as well, two wonderful members of our community. And of course, thank you for gifting, thank you Byzantine Pundit for subscribing to Twitch Prime. Very cool. And Glorp Sauce, thank you for subscribing for 3 months in advance at Tier 2. Wonderful stuff. Winner. Chicken teriyaki dinner. All right, that's when it's serious business, folks. 289 subscriptions. We're almost to 300. Climbing back up. We started at the bottom, but we ended up at the top, and then we ended up at the bottom again because I lost my internet, and then I sort of lost some. Whoa. Holy macaroni, ladies and gentlemen. Who am I? Gifting 5 subscriptions to our channel here, to our community, boosting us to another level of the hype train. 1 to Victoria Allo, 1 to Awesome Jossum, 1 to Nate the Younger, 1 to Havoc to Your Face, 1 to John Joseph Jingle. That's incredible stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for that. Holy moly. Which level of this hype train are we on now? Okay, level 3. Wow, pretty incredible stuff, ladies and gentlemen. This is Real Altruist, 100% Orbaciat, laundering money. Who can say? Bassiett is a bottom confirmed. I wouldn't confirm that. But I would confirm that Who Am I just gifted 5 more subscriptions, and I'm not laundering money here, ladies and gentlemen. I've never laundered money. 1 to Maddie2882, 1 to TazKid19, 1 to Logan0909 Logan, 1 to The Hatter, and 1 to Frucker Offine. That's pretty incredible stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Holy macaroni. We've almost finished the hype train. We're now halfway through, 2/3 through level 4. Wow. I'm sweating here, folks. I am really sweating. Quickie Mart says, I accidentally put $100 in the washer. Did I launder money? Well, technically, but I think you could defend yourself in court by mentioning that it was an accident. Okay? All right? Just kidding. That's not legal advice. But I gotta say, Basket Casey is right that the stream is popping off with our new pop filter. We are popping off because we got 5 more subscriptions from a good friend, Who Am I 4054, who just gifted 1 to Juice CJ, great friend of the channel. Blind Man says, what? You got me. 1 to 1,000 lifetimes, 1 to Dewtree, and 1 to Kibblebit66. That is an adorable name if ever there was one. Holy macaroni. The train just keeps on rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Who am I single-handedly pulling this train out of the station and pushing us all the way to a total, which is 304 subscribers here, ladies and gentlemen, according to the total that has just been updated. The hype train now 157% complete. This wonderful train has left the station. Nugatory Narthik, Swooloo, McPastor, Avato Valley, Rick3636, and DAVZ. Thank you so much for that. Holy mackerel, that is some epic stuff. Who am I 4054? Certainly the number one gifter to the number one stream here on the number one streaming website, twitch.tv. Unban Endernax, and I might give you 5 more subs. That's tough, folks. Should we, now here's what I'm concerned about. Are we setting a precedent there? Are we saying that you can be unbanned from our community if you pay money? And would that be a neoliberal appropriate precedent? I mean, is that the kind of precedent we want to set? That you can buy your way out of prison? That you can buy your way out of trouble? I mean, is that really the kind of, I just unbanned him, obviously. Yeah, sure. Hey, I'm down for that. That sounds good to me. No obligation though. You don't actually have to gift 6 subscriptions. But I think Endernax, either way, Endernax is, Whoa! Holy moly! Following through there. Thank you so much for that. Wow. Holy moly, 240% through that hype train. Gifting a subscription to Advanced Meat Stack. That's pretty darn advanced. 1 to Playing with Prince. 1 to Mo. 1 to I'm Just a Coon Machine. Aren't we all tonight, ladies and gentlemen? And 1 to Flame 486. I think that sounds great. As Random Sunship says, pay for pardon is all the rage these days. And ladies and gentlemen, in capitalism, everything may have a price. I wouldn't say everything, but maybe if we're on the fence already. That sounds like a good call. So thank you so much. Robots says you banned Endernax unfairly. You confused him with Nick Fuentes. I don't think so. But we'll give him another shot. All right. I think that's fair. I think that's fair to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was an incredible hype train. Frankly, I think we're gonna make it now through the hype train. So, just to let you all know, 1.5 minutes on the clock there. If you contribute to the hype train in some capacity by contributing bits or a subscription, you get some cool emotes, and they are looking pretty cool. LOL, hype, all kinds of cool stuff. Unique rewards for participants. So hey, check them out if you're so inclined. And feel free to contribute. Since we've finished the hype train, if you contribute, you'll get those special emotes. A lot of fun. Would you have another conversation with Lecture Fan since the election? I sure would. Okay, we demand a Lecture Fan Basket Pisco 3. You mean a 3-person discussion? Because a threesome is a whole other matter. Okay, with that, Glorp Sauce. I think I see you in the waiting room here. What is this? Where's all these people here that just joined our wonderful Discord server? Okay. So, wow, a bunch of people here. What is going on? Who can say? But we do have our Twitter, our Discord, and our YouTube channel. Check them all out if you haven't already, folks. I sure would appreciate that. Okay, Glorp, are you ready to come in and tell us about robots? And are these other people in the waiting room friends of yours? Just a question. Okay. Just out of curiosity. Okay. So whenever you're ready, Glorp, we will get on talking about the wonders of robotics, which is a very interesting subject that I think our good friend Glorp would tell us all about. Okay. I'm just going to drag him in. I'm sure he's ready. And Glorp, are you there?
I am there. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great.
So, Glorp, I believe you're here to tell us about robots and your personal interest in robots and robotics. And hey, I'm here for it.
Yeah. So I'm with the
Oh,
so I'm just
can you
I'm
tell
just
us? Sorry, real quick. I should have mentioned. Glorp and I worked on a collaborative project recently on Twitter. I don't know if you wanna talk about that for a minute.
Oh yeah. So if anyone remembers the the Stalin tweet, that is my friend. And I found the tweet originally on his timeline to make a "you're white" joke.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for anybody who's curious, this is the recent tweet that was on our Twitter.com account, and I only discovered this about this person who said they were going to chop my head off because our good friend here shared it with me. The guillotine memes we were talking about earlier, this person said, "Bold of you to assume we're joking," and then I found out they dress as Stalin in their free time, and a good laugh was had by all. So, Glorp here is a really cool friend of the channel for sharing that good meme and bringing that saga to a nice, amusing end. But Glorp, what else are you here to talk about today?
I'm here to talk to you about robots, and specifically my robotics team at my high school.
Okay.
So in general, it's about we come together normally and we build a big robot. This year, because of the COVID virus, we have to build our own robot, which is a little bit more complex with planning. So instead of just the normal, we go to 3M and ask them for money. They cannot give us any money because everyone's not doing so hot in our area. COVID is not a good virus to be with, and so I just thought I'd go around to different streamers and talk to them about what we do, and then at the end drop a little donation link, and then skedaddle.
Right on. So what kind of stuff do you do on a high school robot team? Because I'll tell you, when I was in high school, I was doing, let's see, what did I do? I did a Interact Club. It was like this charity thing. I did like mock trial, but I didn't do robot team. That's some brainiac stuff.
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised. Only about half of us are brainiacs, and then the other half are just kind of following the brainiacs along. So me, I did the programming last year. So I typed on a keyboard and banged two rocks together and made a robot move. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So normally we work through a organization called First. So they hold competitions across the country. We were the 2,501st team to join, and but their thing this year, it isn't going to be a normal competition. You don't build a robot this year, so we've decided to each build our own little robot. Yeah. So,
do you have any videos of robots that you could share with us?
Yeah, I do. I can send it to your Discord right now.
If you could, I would love to be able to show people what some of this looks like, because I think it just sounds so cool.
So this was us at our competition last year.
Okay, let me download this and then play it real quick. Okay. Okay, folks, we're gonna look at we're gonna watch this quick video here of robot competitions. Check it out. Right here. Damn.
So we're the one who drove up, and then we shot all the balls in real epic style.
Dude, that is so cool.
Yeah, a whole bunch of stupid high schoolers threw that together. So yeah, it's really cool. I mean, you should see some of the other ones. There's ones who could shoot across the whole field and hit it into there. They're from like the richer areas. We're from a middle class suburb.
Yeah, you're working class robot builders.
We are the working class of the robot builders. Maybe Comrade Beardsley will like me more.
Right on. Well, hey, I don't mean it. Comrade Beardsley, if you're listening, I wish you all the best. I'm sure you have We'll no longer be wishing anybody death on Twitter.com.
I hope not.
Yes. But
So here's the
sorry. Go
here's
on.
a picture. Here's our team picture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that didn't work.
Oh.
She put it on this weird Google Photos thing that I've never used in other pictures.
Yeah, it's downloading as like an exe file, so unfortunately, I can't share that. Unfortunately, if you can open it up on your end and you want to like print screen it, but that's up to you. You don't
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, that's so cool. Like building, designing robots and stuff. I don't know. Has anybody in the chat ever done anything like that, or have any interest in robots? I know Bad Hoss Simra, for example, seems to think it's pretty cool, pretty interesting. So I like that idea. Stefan Molyneux seems to be in the chat and says, Trump 2024, we're talking about robots right now, all right? And that kind of nonsense is how you got banned from YouTube and Twitter and all that, okay? So let's keep it to robots. Doc Socialism says, hey, Hottie, how are you? Doc Socialism, first of all, thank you for the kind words. Second of all, I'm doing great because we're talking about robots here. We're talking about robots. So I think that's pretty cool. So you guys do like competitions?
Yeah, normally we do a big or two big. Well, last year we only did one because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we normally do a big competition where a whole bunch, everyone from the state of Minnesota comes in.
Oh, cool.
And comes and shows off their robot, and then there's normally two.
Right on. So it seems like, and you're from Minnesota, so Gondam, if you're in here, this is, this is your home turf. I mean, that's pretty cool. Best state, says Gondam. I don't know about that, but it is certainly.
It is the best state.
It's certainly top 50, without a doubt.
It is top 50.
Basket Casey asks, how much time were you guys allotted to build robots for the competition?
So we got 12 weeks last year.
Yeah.
I think it was 12 weeks. I can't really remember because it was like a whole year ago.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you have a time constraint.
That's pretty cool. And enjoy that, by the way, while it lasts, because seriously, I now feel like 3 years ago was yesterday. So enjoy that very slow passage of time. Hang on to it, cling on to it. All right.
So here's the team photo. I went and screenshotted it.
Okay. All right.
So we're a pretty a small team compared to other people. Other ones have like 50 to 60 people. We have about 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Aww.
So
that's so friggin' wholesome. Holy macaroni, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. And what is that robot that you're building there? That's the ball launching robot that we saw?
That is the ball launching one that you did see.
That's so cool. Look at it. This is America right here. Diverse in every conceivable fashion, with a really cool robot designed to sling projectiles at a target. I think that's just America any way you slice it. That's wonderful stuff. And Parkendor says it is undeniably the best state, which makes sense because Parkendor also says I'm in the team Glorpizm. So that's pretty cool. Indeed, poggers, mega poggers, indeed. So that's pretty cool. How long has your school had like a robotics team?
Since 2008. So not only was Obama elected in 2008, but the team 2501 was invented.
Awesome. So. 2 big events for a big year, 2008.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. So are you guys, so I know you said COVID has made it harder to get donations and things like that. Dr. Socialism did say, Basit, stop being a creep. This is a child, no children allowed on Discord. That is true. I did just break my rule about you have to be 18 or older to join the Discord. But I think it was for a good cause. So we'll let it slide this time.
Yeah, I only got 5 more months, so I think we can make an exception.
Okay, well, we'll make an exception here, but again, we're going to mark you in the NSFW so you don't join the adult channel there. But
I don't plan on it.
I appreciate that. It's a real mess anyway. But anyway, all kidding aside, it's oh my God, Granddad Christmas! You can't redeem kick the collar for a special guest here. So what kind of robots do you guys have down the pipeline? Are you thinking about?
So this year we're building 1 small robot per person. Still very expensive, like $500 per robot.
Yeah.
So it's just like a little robot, and we pretty much just made a normal game, but just made it smaller. So yeah, so it's I think we're gonna make it 2 cubic feet, and then it's gonna be ran by a Raspberry Pi.
Oh, cool. Raspberry Pi is that software or is that thing that people use to run like different Super Nintendo emulators and things? Or
Yeah,
right?
it's a microcomputer, so it's like your normal desktop computer, but as small as they can make it. So
Wow.
they're pretty cool. They're only like $40, so.
Huh. I can't believe that. That's so interesting. Yeah, I've never I've heard of that, but I thought it was just like a gamer thing for some reason. I don't know.
Well, gamers, you know, we're a very crafty people.
Yeah.
So we kind of come up with all these random things.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. So fun and easy DIY stuff. Really digging it.
Yep.
Yeah, very cool. So what do you I don't know if this is a secret. You don't have to give it away. I know you got another team member in here.
Yep.
What else are you allowed to share what kind of robot you've got in mind?
What I have in
Yes.
mind, so for me, so I'm thinking I'm gonna make. I've already divulged this with them, but I'm thinking of making a basically a rolling cube that has you know, the stupid RGB lights that everyone has. I was gonna put on like 500,000 of those and then blind everyone, and that's gonna be my strategy.
Wait. You're gonna build a robot designed to blind people.
Yup.
Now, let me ask out of curiosity. That seems like that would be a bad kind of robot to build. What is the purpose of building such a robot?
I don't know, for the memes, pretty much.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You know, I want to be a lawyer when I grow up, so I have to start thinking of cases to argue.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it seems like if your task is to animate a rolling cube, I guess that will blind people. You know, I mean, lawyers are, you know, I think it would be unethical to generate your own cases by causing damage to other people. But you know, nevertheless, I guess thinking about problems in multifaceted ways is one of the things that a good lawyer can do. And you know, robotics sounds like a good way to get into a good way to get into that. So I think that's cool.
Yep. So what else do I have on? I wrote a little list. You know, I was responsible. So so you know, we're in a very liberal space. You're a liberal political streamer. So as you saw how diverse our team was,
Yeah.
that is a big up. You know, people always want to talk about how we need to advertise STEM to women and people of color. And, you know, I think that our team is a really good indication of that.
Yeah, seriously. Like, you are legitimately diverse in every conceivable way right there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and then we also, every year we've had it be free. So it's a really good activity for I know personally I'm not going to dox them or anything, but I know a couple people who were a little bit of bad kids before they came into robotics, and then you know we shaped them up to be some good boys and girls.
That sounds good. So robots literally changing lives, pulling tough cookies, tough eggs off the streets, making robots making people into better people, right? Turning bad people into good people. I think that's cool. All right, so let's see here. Is there a way that people, if they're interested, can share their resources with y'all?
Yeah, so we have this. It's not like a GoFundMe. The school gave us their own weird link. So it's right there. It goes directly into our account. You can donate from $10 to infinity dollars. Yeah, so any amount would help us greatly. You know, if you donate, it'll put a massive smile on my face, and also make me look really good to my coaches and mentors. So.
Well, I think that sounds wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I did. I just donated $50 to them. I think this sounds like a really cool project. I think that's a really neat thing to be involved with. Seems like to me. So hey, if any of you are interested and you'd like to contribute to this project, hey, this sounds like the kind of thing that makes America great. Like in every real sense of the word. People of all kinds of backgrounds coming together to build cool stuff. So if you're interested, hey, check out the robotics team of North High School in the wonderful state of Minnesota. There's a link to the checkout. Dig deep and contribute what you can, what you feel like doing. Because hey, I know that when I was a little misspent youth back in high school, I sure would have appreciated the opportunity to be involved in something as cool as this. So hey, if you can pay it forward, I know these are tough times, but if you can, that's a good way to do it. So thank you all so much. And Glorb, thank you for coming on to tell us a little bit about what you do, what you're into, and what y'all are planning for the future.
Yeah, thanks for your donation. Thanks for your time. And then I have one more thing to ask you.
Sure.
Are you pro or against the universal basic income that Andrew Yang said?
Yeah, I think UBI is a good plan. I think his plan for it was pretty solid.
All right, based. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, take care, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
All right. So, folks, that was Glorp. Glorp, who I think his meme alone was worth $50. But if you can, feel free to contribute. I think that's a really cool cause. So. Let's see. Gondam says, oh my goodness. Parganor says, bro, this is my first time watching. Thank you very much for the dosh. Right on. Hey, I hope you guys remember us here on our little stream and give us some updates on the robots that you build in the future. I think it's pretty cool. So good luck to you all. And keep on keeping on with what you're doing. All right. And one more time, there's a link if you'd like to contribute to what they're doing. Hey, I would appreciate it. And thank you all so much. Okay, Gondam says, Basi, if you have 5 minutes after this, I lost a bet to Geek and I need to go pay up on stream. All right, that sounds like a wonderful way to bring tonight's wonderful stream maybe to a conclusion because Mrs. Bassett just got her hair done and I want to go take it in while it's, God, that sounds kind of weird. I want to, take a look and tell her how pretty it is. So anyway, okay, sounded weird anyway, I put that, but there we are. Okay, Gondam and Geek with Glasses here, ladies and gentlemen. Gondam and Geek with Glasses. Gondam, Geek, how you doing tonight?
Hey, what's up, buddy? Oh, we're doing okay, boss. Yes.
I gotta say, Geek. First of all, I'm a little miffed. I'll be honest.
Wait,
with
why
you.
is that?
I'm a little miffed at your light treatment of the PB tweet.
Listen, I'm not sure what happened to the good content on Twitter you used to post. Now it's all cringe. You need to relax. You need to simmer down, boss.
You really think that the words "never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world" is cringe?
I never said that specific picture, but that's what it's tagged with, okay? Oh, God.
If you find that to be cringe, I think, honestly, Geek, that says more about you than it does about me.
Listen, I don't think I'm the only one, okay?
Okay.
I actually agree. I mean, as Lecture Fan raised earlier, it's kind of concerning that you're mobilizing your small Twitch army to go after these companies and different creators.
True.
Lecture Fan even said that your followers were basically dogpiling on him and making him feel bad about himself, and we don't want that in this world. I mean, we want a world of peace, love, and harmony, and the fact that you're mobilizing these people to spew hateful rhetoric in many cases is quite frankly disgusting.
There's no hateful rhetoric here in this community. It is a wonderful community. It is a great community. Although I gotta say,
Bossy, let me ask you. I mean, when someone says that they're gonna, put you up against the wall or guillotine you, is the appropriate response to mobilize your much larger following to go and ruin these people's lives?
Groom.
Well, now hold on a minute. If somebody says you should be killed, then yeah, screw them.
Wow.
Okay, all right. I do want to say, though, to Supreme Soviet #1, who posted this picture of Adolf Hitler on the peanut tweet, not cool, not based.
Yikes.
Very, very yikes. Yikerinos, okay? All right. RJ says, when they go low, we go lower. Bassett 2020. Not all the time, certainly sometimes. All right.
Well, Basti, let's get to business here. Unfortunately, I may or may not have lost a bet with Geek with Glasses TV. And
Hell yeah,
so
brother.
the next minute, just take whatever I say with a grain of salt. But I'll just get started here.
No.
Okay, what was the bet, first of all, that you lost?
Well, we won't really talk about it. We won't really talk about it.
No, we got
TOS.
No, it's not.
You gotta give us. Can you write out what it was, maybe in a Discord message, so that I can?
No. Wait, it's not TOS. Just ask.
Oh, Geek TOS.
Just ask him what his favorite football team is. It's laughable to begin with, so just ask him.
Okay, Gundam, what is your favorite?
Okay. Look, I know this is going to sound hypocritical because of the where I live in the state, but let's just say I was raised the right way. Everyone knows I'm from northern Minnesota.
Yeah.
I love the Minnesota Wild. They're a great hockey team. But my late great father, Geek is kind of insulting his legacy by insulting my football team. He was a Packers fan.
Okay.
And so I am also a Packers fan. So, naturally I have a lot of enemies in my own home state. Anyway, my team lost to Geek's stupid ass team, 2 weeks ago now?
Yeah.
And, the Indianapolis Colts and
who are way better than Green Bay. But anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, and so what follows here is me owing up to the bet. So, ladies and gentlemen of Bossiet's community, 147 viewers, I come to you tonight just to tell you that the greatest streamer on Twitch is Geek with Glasses TV. This is a man who's very humble, incredibly intelligent. He's someone who just, every time I watch his streams, I'm just reinvigorated with life. I feel this inner bliss, this longing to learn and feel and love and just be a human being. And secondly, I have to say too that the greatest member of the Bossiet community is House the Chowder. I've always respected him as a person. He's a great person, great tier 3 sub.
No, don't do that to me, Bob.
This is Geek. Wow. Okay. Apparently, the Basti News Network is gone. But the going away picture is of Geek with Glasses. Wow. Geek with Glasses, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible stuff. That Geek with Glasses here is this is him, and apparently he won a bet with Gundam, and the Geek without glasses has come out on top.
Yeah, in summary, the man, as you see in that picture, he calls that mustache the pussy tickler. He's the best streamer on the platform, folks. Go and follow him, Geek with Glasses TV. If just one of you goes over and follows his stream, that'll triple his average viewership. So he's a great streamer. My hat's off to him. I can't say a bad word about him tonight.
And you know what? I think that sounds great. Geek with Glasses, Twitch. Let's drop a link to Geek with Glasses here.
Thanks, Gundam. I really appreciate those kind words from you, my friend.
That's
no problem, buddy.
So thoughtful.
It's always nice talking to you, my friend.
So check out the link if you are so inclined to Geek's stream. Check it out. Geek is a fountain of content. I'll never forget this stream where he burned a fish and almost choked on it. It was incredible stuff. This was a wonderful stream. There was nothing like it. In fact, here's actually a clip. From the infamous burned fish stream. I watched this live as it happened with my future wife, and it's great content. Let's take a look at 52 seconds of Geek with Glasses streaming live on twitch.tv.
Much more burnt, the fish or Geek's ego? My ego is pretty fucked right now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought this would be good content, but I'm getting shit for it. I fucking hate all of you. Oh, God damn it! It's so good. God, great content. 8-tier content there. Everybody go follow now. Oh, God.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. As Taryn says right there, our ineffable Frenchman himself, Taryn, That was perfect content. Here's Gondam saying idiot streamer chokes on stream. I know he regrets that tonight, though. He's got nothing but good things to say about Geek with
True,
Glasses.
right, God?
Nothing but good things. Geek is an excellent cook. Taryn was in the chat that night in Geek's stream, and he was saying some very hateful things like, "Wow, you really burnt that fish," and "Wow, that's the worst food ever." But I completely disagree. Geek literally walks on water in my eyes tonight.
Right on. Well, Gondam Geek, thank you so much for being here. I'd also like to thank our wonderful new contributions tonight from Who Am I 4054, who gifted a subscription to Six Corners and to Gabe PMF, and then one to Life, Liberty, and Property, great member of our community, one to Lily White, one to Hammond, one to Cal Concepts, and one to Sir Danky, and then one to Serix Rogue. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of wonderful people in our community. Folks, I haven't seen Who Am I 4054 before. Have you guys?
I have a big theory here, Bastia. This is either real altruists or it is general disassembly. Many people don't know this, but general disassembly was a mod in the Endernax community who was banned for making a very bad joke about Emmett Till. I won't say any further.
Okay.
I'm thinking that he's here tonight to get Endernax unbanned, and you played right into his hand, Bastia.
Wow.
Played you like a fiddle.
I don't think he played me like a fiddle. He made a very persuasive argument, and who am I? I don't care who you are. Thanks for being here tonight. I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you for the platform, Bastia. I'm going to sign off for the night. I just want to say God bless, and I love your entire community.
I love
just
you
have
too,
a good
Donnie.
night.
Thank you.
Take care, my friend. And
Whoa.
Geek, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No, I think that's it. That's all I wanted to hear. That's the best fucking meme of the night. All right?
I'm glad to hear you enjoyed it, my friend.
Wait, you know what? Should I fucking do it right now? Here, can I plug something actually real quick?
Okay.
Okay, listen. Oh god, this is actually kind of spooky. 160 people watching. All right, listen. Everybody go buy my self-published photography book, okay? I recently did that probably like a few months ago. Takes a lot to put your fucking name out there, okay? Definitely takes a lot of balls.
Are you sure you want that's got your name on it? You sure?
It has my name on it. Yeah, I don't fucking care. I mean, whatever. If you want to support me, it's a form of street photography, right? So basically, I go to like fire scenes and take pictures when I'm not, working myself. So but whatever. That's what I do on my free time.
That's really cool. But just to be clear, you don't mind that you're doxing yourself?
I don't mind.
Okay, so let me ask you. Can I use your name?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, James Rowcroft is like an awesome
Wow, you
name.
said my last name right. Holy shit. I give you props.
That's a really cool name. Like, I mean, I can't believe you got that name and you chose to call yourself Geek with Glasses. Like, that's a good name, man. You have to talk. I mean, that's a strong, solid American name.
Amen, brother. Nah, Geek with Glasses is legendary too, okay?
That's a lawyerly name. I mean,
true.
Damn,
One day when I get to WVU like you. So.
Right on. Well, check out the book, folks. If you are into the work of Geek with Glasses, he is one cool taco. Geek, thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you. I'll see you.
All right, take care. Life, Liberty, and Property says, is Bastia ashamed of his real name? No, I just think Geek has a great name. Okay, Doc Socialism says, put me on the air, you're a commie. I would, but alas, my 3 hours is up. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's what we're doing tonight. We are going to go and visit a wonderful friend of the channel. I was going to go visit the wonderful, oh, wait a minute, there he is. There he is. We're going to go pay our great friend Nate a visit. I think he certainly has it coming. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get that going. Let's see, FT. What the heck is the? How the heck did he spell it again? I always forget this name. Nate is a great channel, but name in your channel 5 letters. FTLBZ. Okay. All right. FTLBZ. So that's what we're gonna do, folks. Click the link to head on over if you'd like. Also, or otherwise, FTLBZ. FTLBZ. Why is it not popping up? It's not popping up because FTLBZ. It's not popping up. Okay. Fast and Light BZ. All right. It's not popping up, unfortunately, because he just started streaming. So we'll wait a minute here. But for all those who donated to the robots, thank you so much as well. Apparently Simra matched our donations, so we know they at least got $100 tonight. That's awesome stuff. I mean, they can use that stuff for some new parts, for some cool robots, and I'm sure they'll let us know all about it real soon. So I appreciate that, folks. I know platforming somebody's high school robotics team on our little stream is a little unorthodox, but Glorp gave me a really cool meme, and I thought, hey, you know what? Let's give this guy a chance to practice pitching, right? It's a small, cozy community. I figured he'd appreciate it. Calic Manistan says, any tips on how an undergrad student can get into a good law school? The most important thing I guess you can do while you're in undergrad is get the best grades you can, and otherwise get the best LSAT score you can, because that's the single biggest factor. Your GPA, and then the biggest factor, your LSAT score. Everything else is good too. You want to try and make your time in school count, but the most important thing is certainly that LSAT score and that GPA. So that's really it. Try and max out your scores there. And if you do that, well, hell, the rest of it's gravy. Some good recommendations, some interesting extracurricular experiences. That helps too, especially when you're competing at really top tiers. But you get that GPA and that LSAT score, and you're really good. So yeah, and as far as the LSAT goes, take tests and practice. I got a 167, which is not the best score, but it's pretty good. And that was a score that I got just by repeatedly taking tests. On the practice test I took before the night of the test, I got a 177, so I was like really excited. But the day of the test, I got a 167. Either way, I got that. I brought my score up by repeatedly taking practice tests, so that's what you should do too. Definitely. Good stuff. Any advice to immigrating to America from Canada to avoid the cold? I don't know what our immigration system is right now, but I guess it seems like we're trying to, at the moment, he choked. I didn't choke. I think I got lucky with the logic games the night before, though. So, gosh, any advice on immigrating to America? I guess get a job lined up. That always helps. I don't know. Otherwise, if you're going to move to Florida, purchase a firearm to defend yourself with. It gets pretty crazy down here. Okay. When is Nate's channel going to show up, man? Okay. FTBLZ, right? Okay, there it is. All right. FTBLZ. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go visit Nate. I sure do appreciate y'all being here tonight. Again, I hope you have a wonderful evening. We'll be streaming probably on Friday, if not sometime this weekend. I'll see y'all real soon. God bless America, and have a good night. Take care.